All right, we're live. Let's see how many people we can get in here right now. Where you guys at? There was two of you in here before. I have no clue who you were because we were set on private before. I don't know why they gave me the option of private. Apparently, it's been so long since I live stream. YouTube changed how they do their things, and they standardized it to be a private live stream. I don't know why you do anything privately. There we go. We got one person in here so far. As I was just telling the camera, I haven't live streamed in a long time, and apparently YouTube changed how they do things. So when I went to put you guys on live last time, it was listed as private for some reason, not public. So I don't know if you could see me or not, but I couldn't see anybody's live chats or anything. So let me know who's in here right now. We got 5 people already. What do we got? All right, Henry's here. Eric's here. We got Classic Ride Society. I'm gonna stop there. Man, that Electra I saw in the pile, that sucked. What's up, Eric? I'm surprised. I've got what, 5 people already? I had already had at least 5 people tell me they couldn't make it tonight. Yeah, thanks, man. Over at Ride Society, thanks for the 1,000. You know, I hit 1,000 this morning when I woke up, and then about 5 o'clock, I was out working on my car, and I went back and checked my phone for some reason, and it said I was at 997 subscribers again. I'm like, oh, come on. So we're at 1,000 now, so we're good. It's official. Where's my dad with his white beater, his disposable camera? Oh, he should be home soon. What's up, Terry? Thanks, I appreciate it. Eric, my dad was over at Chris's house. Chris pulled the drive shaft out of the Firebird. He thought it needed U joints, but apparently it didn't. He said they were in good shape. So they're putting that back together. And Chris has got work early in the morning. So usually Chris goes to bed around 9:30, 10, and it's 10 right now. So he should be here. I'll let you know if I hear the wagon pull up the driveway. Bear with me 1 second. Hey, what's going on in Arkansas, man? River Valley Ray, how you doing, man? Did the Buick survive the road trip? I mean, if it had a Buick motor, I don't know if it would have, but it's got an Olds 455, so it did just fine. Yeah, it did good, man. To try and read your comments. This is coming in quick, man. I wasn't expecting this many people to be here already, even though it says 4. Love the content. Thanks, Eric. Gotta keep grinding. Fluctuates. I know it fluctuates. But yeah, it did survive. It ran a little hot. Um, that's the only issue we had. We made it out of PA just fine. And as soon as we got to New Jersey, the temperatures started climbing. And it's not like we were going up heavy hills or anything. But usually it runs around 200 degrees. And it got up to 230, which isn't out of control, but it's not good. We linked it. The car needs a bigger radiator. It's way too small. The one that's in it now, it's a 3 or a 4.0. Hold on, we got somebody calling in right now. Hang on. Hey, who's this?
It's Neutral Drop. What's up? Calling from New York.
Hey, Neutral Drop. We got a celebrity in the house.
Not yet. Almost. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there.
Getting there. You guys got like 3,000 subscribers in the past week.
Yeah, man. It just exploded. It's taken off. The channel's going berserk. Everybody's loving it, and we're kicking ass, man. We're having a good time out there.
Everybody say what's up to cameraman.
Oh, this is cameraman. Stuntman's home. He's probably home having a beer right now, and that's no bullshit. We had a hard day's work. But listen, you're kicking ass, man. Right now, you guys hit 1,000 subs. And this is where it starts going. This is where it starts to flow. Give them another 50 subscribers, and bang, they're going to see a nice video, and it's going to take off. That's the way it is. It's crazy.
Right on. Hey, yo, cameraman, give me 1 second.
You got it.
Where's the Cowboy Crusher? I don't know. He might be hiding at home right now. Hang on. Give me 1 second to catch up. This is out of control already, for me at least. 77? No, Eric, it's an 80 pace car. My dad bought it new. He's had that thing since 80, and it's local car too. Might need an overdrive. It definitely needs an overdrive. Classic. The Dodge Monaco Bluesmobile. Yep. He sounds like he's from Brooklyn. He is from Brooklyn. He's from the Bronx and Queens. But anyway, whoever's here right now that hasn't been watching the channel, cameraman here is from over at Neutral Drop, his own YouTube channel, and I'm telling you guys, I've been with him since he only had a couple subscribers, and the shit they do on their channel, man, I'm telling you, it's not an act. It's just shit they do in their daily life, and they had to pick up a camera. Go check them out.
Listen, this guy discovered me. He discovered me. I think I had like 20-something subscribers. I think your buddy discovered me. What's his name, that guy?
Zach, the crazy one, that's Zach.
There you go. He discovered me, told you, and you messaged me like, yo, this is sick. Keep it going. Keep this fucking channel going. It's awesome. And then I remember we were going for probably around, I don't know, we were probably into it for like 5 or 6 months. And me and my brother, Stuntman's my brother. And he go, we didn't video for probably like 2 days. You didn't put up a video. You messaged me, you better not stop. Your mother effers better not stop. And I messaged you back, no, we had a little glitch, man. We're right back up, and we kept going.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing. Neutral Drop's no longer a small channel, man. I'm telling you. I just hit 1,000. They just hit 1,000 like 2 weeks ago, and they're almost at 5 now. What are you at?
Right now, I think we're at about 4,700. We got overnight, since yesterday, we put on about 1,400 subscribers.
They uploaded this crazy video where they had a Honda 5-speed, and they were doing 5th gear clutch dumps. Go check it out. Wind it up in 5th gear, dump the clutch. It had no brakes. They had to chain it to the truck.
We wanted to see if it would break. So what happened was, this thing had no brakes. So I'm like, all right, we got to do a video with it. So we're going to do some crazy shit. And it's a 5-speed Civic. So I take a chain in my truck, my tow truck. I hook it up to it, and I hook it up. They got a nice little hook on the back of the Civic. I hook it up to the Civic, and my brother, Stuntman, just revs this thing out, dumps the clutch, and he's wailing through the fucking gears. First, second, third, fourth, redlining it, right? Next thing you know, it's like the whole block is covered in smoke.
Yo, cameraman, I got one of your subscribers in the room right now.
Oh, get out of here. Who is it? Let me see if I recognize the name.
Eric Steinberg.
Steinberg. You know what? Is he new? When did he start? Do you know?
Eric, when did you subscribe to his channel? Plus, he said his dad grew up in Flatbush near Ebbets Field, if you know where that's at.
Of course I do. Absolutely. They do all Ebbets Field. They do all the they do like helicopters, little remote control helicopters. Actually, if you want to laugh, I ran a Spartan race there with my kids. They almost fucking killed me, but I did it. Yep.
Oh, Eric said he's watched your stuff, but he hasn't subscribed yet. He said he's going to tonight. That's what I'm talking about.
Man, subscribe. Hook it up. Let's do it.
But I'm telling you guys, the thing about Neutral Drop is they don't act. It's like watching the Alligator Hunter.
It kind of is all in a day's work.
It's just shit gets out of control, and they just whip out the camera and catch it all.
That's it. We do it. We do it on the fly. There's no script. There's no nothing. I say to my brother, get in that car and tear that motherfucker up. And we go out there and we get busy and we get some good footage. You know.
You act like
sometimes we have duds that we don't put on. Sometimes the cars don't perform.
You act like you got to tell them.
What we get a lot of these cars to do.
You act like you got to tell them to get in the car and do that.
Yeah. You know what we like? We like the town cars, the Crown Victorias, the rear-wheel drives. They're a rip. We have a lot of fun with those. But you know, every day we never know what we're gonna get because we do cash for cars, so we're buying cars all over New York City. I mean, every single borough, every single day, except Staten Island. I try to stay away from there.
Yeah.
Forget it, man. We're getting cars every day. We're probably doing 60 to 70 cars every week. So we, but we're going to crush something and it still runs. Like if it doesn't have a title, or maybe the transmission's not going to overdrive, or I just don't feel like fixing it, we rip it and kill it.
Hey, just in case anybody's looking to find their channel, just go over to my homepage. I have them featured on the right-hand side with featured channels. They're in there.
Listen, man, I appreciate it and useful. You got a sick channel going on. See, your stuff is useful entertainment. Mine is no fucking use entertainment.
Are you kidding me? If I'm having a shitty day, I just watch a fucking video upload.
Oh my God. Fuck, it's very funny, man. But listen, you're doing good. You're kicking ass and you're growing. You got a good audience. I see it.
Appreciate it, man.
Commenting, you know. And that's it, man. More power to you. And listen, you're growing right along with me. I passed you, I know that, but we're uploading every single day ridiculous stuff. My videos take 3 minutes. Your videos, you have to edit it, put time. It's hard.
Hey,
easy what you're doing.
since you gave me a call, we went from 4 people to 8. We doubled the crew. Who's all in here? I know.
It's all about grinding. And any of you guys out there that are looking and thinking about starting a channel, do it. That's my advice. Do it. Just go. Jump in and get busy. And it happens, man. It takes a long time. It's a lot of work, but that's a new TV. Think about it, guys. How many of you guys are watching TV right now? You're online right now. You're on YouTube. That's the future. And you know what? I'm 50. I'm gonna be 50 years old in December. And you're gonna say in 10 years from now, yeah, that old dude, man, he knew. He told me. So follow what I'm telling you. I got a lot of good advice. I've been around. YouTube's the future. I'm seeing it happen, and you guys are seeing it happen too.
Eric,
I come home and watch TV, and I'm old school.
Eric says he never watches TV. It sucks, and he wants to know if you watch Uncle Tony's Garage. He lives in Tennessee, but he's from
Tony's Garage. Yes. That guy's a maniac. Yes, he's got like the mustache, right? The dark mustache.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a stash going on. Tony got a stash. I swear he's got a stash, but now you got me double thinking myself.
Well, he knows his shit. I know who he's talking about. He actually, wait a second. He had a video about power shifting, right? Where he never lifted his foot. It was a stick shift car. I don't know what kind it was. His foot was, right? His foot was to the floor. And I'm like, damn, I never knew you could do that. I always thought it was a myth.
That's called a no-lift shift.
Yeah, apparently he had the guts to do it with his car. But yeah, it's all good stuff, man. It's all good stuff out there on the internet. You know what I mean? And that's the future. That's all I can tell you. That's what's going on.
Apparently, Uncle Tony's from Staten Island.
Get out of here. He's from Staten Island.
That's what Eric's saying.
Listen, I'm 99.9% sure that this is the same guy. But he's a nutty guy. He's a nut job. Doesn't he go with people to buy cars with them? And he looks under the car and he's like, come on, what are you trying to sell me?
That's him. Yep. That's him. You know what? Actually, you should see cameraman haggle with cars. He's the same way. He's got the same attitude.
Yeah, with that, listen, man, I got a 10th degree black belt in negotiating cars. It's as simple as that. You know, I'm doing it so long I could do it in my sleep. You know, listen, you got to think about it.
You know, my favorite one was from your one video. You're like, listen, sir, the car crusher doesn't have eyes. It doesn't care what it looks like. It's going to the crusher.
There you go. The car crusher does not care what year, make, or model it is, as long as it weighs and it's got metal. That's what it's about.
All right, cameraman.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, guys, listen, stick with useful, man. You're gonna learn from this guy. He's a good guy, man. I just talking to him on the phone a few times. We were supposed to do a meetup, but I ended up getting jammed up. Business got a little crazy that day, but we're gonna do it in the future.
Yeah, after the 100%. Connecticut road trip, I was supposed to go meet up with cameraman and stuntman off a neutral drop, but it just didn't work out. It was so close. It was real close.
It was close. But you know what? It was pouring rain. It's probably better that it didn't, because it was pouring in Brooklyn.
I know. We drove. Hey, we drove to that on the way home. I know what you're talking about. It was bad. The water hitting the windshield sounded like hail. It was terrible.
There you go.
Traffic came to a standstill.
Anyway. Well, listen, the future, we'll get it to happen 1,000%. All right. Listen, I'm signing off, man. I gotta go inside, and I gotta put my head on the pillow, man. I'm getting up bright and early. Useful, I appreciate you having me on.
No problem.
Check out the channel and stick with him. Stick with Useful, man. You're gonna learn from this guy. All right.
All right, cameraman. We'll see you later.
You got it, brother.
Yep. Thanks for the call.
All right, man. Goodbye.
Anyway, that was an unexpected call. That is serious. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, go over, watch Neutral Drop. If you love cars, then you love watching cars, especially like modern cars. Get the shit kicked out of them, like mercilessly. You guys ever hear a rocking horse? I'll catch up on your comments in a second. A rocking horse is when stuntman takes the car and he does a neutral drop, gets the tires frying, and without taking his foot out of the pedal, he slams it in reverse, and the car goes, wah! Ah! transmissions are crying, they're smoking, the exhaust systems are glowing red, catalytic converters are catching on fire. It's an awesome channel, new episode every day. Anyway, let's see what you guys are talking about here. First time, hang on. I'll get to you, Henry. Yeah, TV's definitely outdated. Staten Island. Could have been 66 Charger he has. I think it was a 4-speed. Daisy Duke, what are you talking about, the 66 Charger? You talking about Uncle T? Let's see. I've always wondered, why did you call your channel Useful Entertainment? Because it doesn't sound like anything automotive. Thank you. You know, I was just talking to a couple of people, a couple of YouTubers I'm good friends with, thinking about changing my channel name, but I'm not that big in the game, but I'm so far along having Useful Entertainment as a channel name, I'm going to run with it. Because some of the stuff I do is useful, some of it's entertaining, and if it's neither of the two, then I'm not doing my job. I know it doesn't sound automotive related, which that's the problem. That's why I wanted to change it. But I can't really think of a good automotive related name for the channel that doesn't sound generic or, boring. So I stick with it. Useful Entertainment's kind of catchy, and I'm running with it because I've been working with this channel for a little bit of time. I've been finally getting active with it over the past year, if you want to call it a year. But I think if I stick with it, it'll get big enough. The name will get around. The word will spread. People will know who Useful Entertainment is. But yeah, I was asking myself that. Why do I call it UE? Yeah, I thought the name was good too. It's just, like I said, there's no so and so's garage. There's no name automobile in there. It's just Useful Entertainment. How's the 80s Camaro doing? Eric, I just get this. I went to New Jersey last week with my buddy Riley, and we picked up for $50 a minty second-gen Trans Am steering wheel for it. I'll get it on camera for you guys. I got rid of the Z28 steering wheel that's in there. It's got the 3-spoke with the holes drilled in it now. And the leather wrap is like brand new, man. It's aluminum colored. It's not black. But yeah, it's got a Trans Am steering wheel now. Oh, other than that, the Camaro's doing great also. Gets great gas mileage compared to what I'm used to. Runs great, doesn't vibrate on the highway. It's not using oil. It's a good car. It's not completely rotted out. And your neutral drop, no problem. Let's have a round of applause for cameraman. I'll catch you on the flip side, cameraman. I'll talk to you. Daisy Duke said he's seen the video talking about power shifting that thing. People look for something useful and people look for some entertainment. I mean, what else could you ask for? I got to tell you guys a story in a second. Just let me catch up as fast as I can. My name does stand out, and I guess it does. You're not wrong. Could add an auto in between. I could. We stopped by Atco. Oh, yeah. When we went to pick up the steering wheel in New Jersey, me and Riley, the guy lived 2 miles from a drag strip, a quarter mile down the street, and he told us about it. So me and Riley got in there for free. And yeah, we spent about 2 hours there watching some pretty sick cars go down the drag strip. No joke cars. These cars are running in 7s in the quarter mile. Oh, yeah, the louvers are still on the window. Actually, I fixed them. I used double stick tape the first time around, and it turned out terrible. So I ripped them off, and I used panel bond. You know what panel bond is for gluing metal to metal in the body shop world. Well, I panel bonded them down to the glass. They're not going anywhere. There could be a hurricane and a tornado, and they're not going anywhere. What was I just reading? Oh, man. I needed to tell you guys a story. What the hell did I read that sparked that off? Oh, man, we were talking about the Camaro. You were talking about Useful Entertainment. God, why did I forget what the hell we were talking about? Of course, NutriDrop knows what Atco is. I mean, there was a lot of Hondas, but they weren't slow. I really liked they had first generation, the first or second generation Mazda RX-7s. One's from the early 80s. But there's no way they had factory 2 rotors in them. These were like 4-rotor engines. And these things, when they send one car off, they had this RX-7 and they had this brand new GTR Skyline. The Skyline took off, got halfway down the track. The Mazda took off at a delayed reaction and blew right around them. Do I plan to buy any more cars? No, I don't. It just happens. It's a disease. You think I should buy a Judge? Depending on what year. The 69 Judge is the epitome of Judge. But the first car I've ever ridden in my life was a 70 GTO. My parents picked me up from the hospital in one. And we recently had to get rid of that car about 7 years ago. I miss that car. I'd love to have a Judge, but if I had a Judge, I want the one from Dazed and Confused. It's not carousel red like a 69, it's orbit orange for 1970. And it's like this butterscotch with a little more orange to it, with a black vinyl top. It's got all the stripes. It's a beautiful car. Man, I just had the best story to tell you guys, and I can't remember what it was. Give it a little bit. Maybe it'll resonate in there and come back out. Oh, I wanted to mention to Terry, I looked into those Champion radiators. They're not priced bad at all. I was on their website, and they were telling me which car are you looking at for, and it gives you a limited options of cars. So I started with Chevy because I wanted to see if they had something for a Caprice, because that's the same body as my dad's wagon. It's a B-body wagon from the 80s. I couldn't find anything for a Caprice, but I did find radiators for my Cutlass. And as reasonable as they are priced, I'm thinking about picking one up for the Cutlass, even though I'm not going to need one. And I'll just donate the massive radiator that's in this car now to the wagon. Yeah, you were saying I had to take the radiator out of my work truck. Oh my God, we're up to 11 people so far. You really had to take the radiator out of the work truck because it couldn't warm up on time? That's good. How many miles were you driving to and from work? Out of curiosity. All right, I'm going to start off with Daisy Duke's comment. How's the acceleration in the wagon now compared to the 455 versus the 350? It's not a race car. There's plenty of cars on the road right now, brand new, that will blow its doors off. But going from the 350 to the 455 was like going from the 307 to the 350. It's a significant gain in power. If any of you guys seen the little cold start video I did in Connecticut, I held the car in first gear and I wound it out. The car picked itself up, held itself in the air, and when I took my foot out of the pedal, it relaxed. It almost looked like the tires inflated and then deflated. It's also the way he drives it. The way my dad drives that car, not many cars will pass it on the highway because he's relentless. He's just got that mentality, man. It runs great. It runs really strong. In fact, Chris went for a ride in it the other day, and he was very pleased with what he felt. He's like, I think pulls, man. It pulls you right in the seat. He feels we could get a little bit more tuning out of it, maybe a little more timing, a little more carburetor playing. But it's almost maxed out on tuning. It feels good. It feels great, and it's a factory motor. The only thing I put different, and I threw a different cam in it. Am I a fan of the mid-70s El Camaros? Oh, El Caminos. I read it wrong. Sorry, Eric. I'm on the fence about them. I really like the late 60s and early 70s. I think I'd rather have a 75 El Camino versus a 78 and newer. I'm not a fan of G-bodies. There's 2 G-bodies I like. I would love to have a 87 GN if they made an Aero Coupe. I would settle for an Aero Coupe Monte Carlo, and I'd love to have an 86 Pontiac 2+2. But it's just a shame that they didn't keep the Pontiac 301 Turbo alive and develop it like they did with the 3.8, because that would have been a hot car, man. I'm telling you. 110 degrees. Yeah. Somebody showed up to my house, and I don't know who's here right now. Yeah, the ones with the Malibu front ends, yes, I'd much prefer them to G-bodies. Bubbles is here. The ones with the Malibu front, yeah. Work truck, I could drive it all day, and it wouldn't reach 150. Okay. I like that you hop up the wagon. I mean, that's why we bought it. There's a whole backstory to the wagon. If anybody's interested, let me know. There's an entire backstory to why we even own that car and why I bought it. Oh, Chris is here. Chris said it pulls hard. All right, Chris, let everybody know in the comments what you think. Hey, Redline's here from.
It's good. I mean, it's definitely different from the 350.
Redline here. He's the other old guy. He just bought a 66, not 67, 66 Tornado. I want it so bad. I told him I was going to steal it, but it's gold, so I'll pass. Other than that, it's beautiful. And his dad's got the same exact dwell meter that we use. Same one. Let's see. Hey, Eric says, "What's up, Bubbles?" Hey, so does Daisy Duke.
If anyone want to see a nice video of that Mazda versus that GTR, it's on the Life of Riley on YouTube.
Yeah. Go see the Life of Riley YouTube channel. You can see that RX-7 I was telling you about blow away that Skyline. But anyway, what's up, Justin? I love that Tornado. If it goes missing, come to my house first. Serious. His friend's parents had a Buick Electra wagon. Yeah, we had an Electra wagon growing up as a kid. I guarantee that car got turned in for cash for clunkers. There's no way it exists anymore.
Electro?
The Electra wagon we had, the 84.
Oh, yeah.
The one we have now is the balls to the wall version. The one we had before was the pimp version. I mean, but the one that we used to have, all the suspension was upgraded. This one, we didn't do shit to the suspension. What car did the 455 come out of? It came out of a 69 Tornado. And get this. What did that motor look like when we pulled it apart? I have the timing chain.
Better than the 70.
Go in my house by the wood stove. There's a milk crate. Find the timing chain set. It came out of a 69 Tornado that had literally no miles on it. I took the intake off of it and it looked like it came out of a hot tank. And the wear factor on all the moving parts, there was none. It was a brand new motor. It was just pulled out of a wrecked car and sat in the weeds indoors. It was indoor for years, but it just had dirt all over it. I have not ridden in a Buick Grand National. Well, here's the timing gear that came out of that 455 from the Tornado. Go get the other timing gear, the one that still has all the teeth. Well, usually they discolor. They turn like a varnishy color. It still has all the plastic. And I didn't clean this. This is the color it came out. There's no varnish to it. The teeth are like almost a glow-in-the-dark color, if you will. It's brand new.
I got both because I know you asked for the other one.
Oh, whatever. Okay, fine. Here, I'll hold that one. I got this. This came out of my other 455. It still has all the teeth, but you can see the color difference. It's trash. And that's what a normal nylon gear looks like. No teeth left.
Gone. A little bit there. Gone.
My dad's 455 needed absolutely nothing, but we did need to have the heads redone to a degree. Some of the valves got stuck from sitting in one position for 50 years, and the valves are no good. They were pitted, so we changed the valves, had them had the heads hot tanked. We did valve guides on them, and that was about it.
It's just not the nylon. It's just the sludge right here versus right here.
Right.
Look, this is black and that's silver.
By the way, if anybody's curious, this came out of the 307.
No, I thought
that came out of the 307.
That came out of the 350.
And somehow the 307 didn't blow up, especially the way I used to beat that thing.
Yeah.
I gotta get a picture frame from Walmart and put all three of these together and hang it on the wall.
The 302 out of the 73 looked between this and the 351, but all that nylon went into my oil pickup.
All right, let's catch up on some comments here. 66. What's up? What's wrong with There's nothing wrong with a little bit of bling. That wagon was nice. It was really nice. It was a loaded car. It was really nice. It's just a tragedy story on it, and it didn't get wrecked either. The wagon's cool. Okay. It runs real good. Pulls very hard. I want to see it. I want to see what it will do from a dig. I couldn't agree more. Get a Vista Cruiser wagon. I think I seen a video of that a long time ago, Justin, with that 73. I didn't know that was your car. You want to put the 455? Are you going to put a 455 in it, or are you going to put the 455 in it that had a similar looking timing gear? It's almost spotless. Why nylon and not metal on the gear?
Nylon's
ask GM.
Quiet.
No, it's
not ask GM. Ask literally every car manufacturer back then.
It's designed obsolescence. That's the only thing that kills those motors. You shear off all the nylon, it jumps timing, it bends the valves. The car's already 10 years old. Who's going to want to pay that money to fix it? Junk it.
They did it because it quiets down the timing, but it's actually not even as much as bending the valves and jumping timing as much as it is all that nylon going up into your pickup screen.
Well, that too.
Dropping your oil pressure.
That too.
That happened more common than the valve thing.
We've seen plenty of motors lose timing chains at around 100,000 miles where they bend the valves. But also, when it shears off some of the nylon, but not all, it goes right into the oil pickup, like he just mentioned. Nothing like starving your motor for oil before it takes a shit with bent valves.
That's exactly what happened with the 73. It wasn't bad. It's just all that nylon was in the pickup.
No, it's not a smog motor. No, it's like, I'm telling you, like I said, it came out of a 69 Tornado, so it's pre-smog. But not only that, it had so much shit inside of it I've never seen before on an Olds motor. It had windage trays. What else did it have? It had all kinds of weird shit on there. Oh, the water pump was crazy. I have it right here on the floor.
Big. It was much bigger than the other one. And it was
like, listen, the water pump didn't have a normal impeller. I kept this. It's got like a turbine. Check that shit out. It's a giant wheel with fins. Almost like a what's windmill you put in the water?
Yeah, just I think
well, you know what I mean.
A propeller?
It's like, no, there's a special name for it. It's a wheel you put in the water and the current moves the wheel. It looks like one of them. But usually these have like finned impellers. There'd be like a 5-blade in the air, and there was none. I've never seen anything like this. They hooked that Tornado engine up from the factory really well, but did not have a forged crank. It was still a nodular iron. Yeah, like Chris said, it was like new when we pulled it apart. It was shocking. All right, so Justin's got a 72 block. He's completely rebuilding. You guys are jumping around. I have to take a picture of timing gear. I saw what it looked like on the video when your dad was compression testing it. The 73 had a 350. Okay. What heads are on there? Are those number 8 heads on that 350 and the 73, Justin? What's the Firebird got in it? Are you talking about the Trans Am or Chris's Firebird? Chris's Firebird's got a 350 2-barrel with a 4-speed, which is ironically kind of slightly faster than a 340 Challenger. And that's still got a 301 turbocharge. You got to get a bad rap, but you do some little tuning on it, and you can bring that motor to life.
You can actually make 200 horsepower.
Hey, Justin, I'll bet. I'm not positive. I think your car's got a 425 unless you said it was swapped to a 455. You might have that same water pump if it's original. Eric said it's a water wheel.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking, but I also didn't want to seem like some elementary retard for saying
I'm hoping that Olds 425 I got out of the 67. Olds 98 is in good shape. Then I'm throwing in a 67 Cutlass Spring. That Olds 98 was a beautiful car. It's just a damn shame somebody let it go down the toilet like it did. I remember that video. Just thank God you got the motor out of it.
Yeah, through one turbos. Yeah, if Pontiac would have spent more money on them, they could have been
outran the Grand National.
They could have been better than the Grand National.
Put it like this: if they put the 301 turbo and developed it and put it in a 3rd Gen F body car, like one of them wedge cars, that would have ran circles around a Grand National with a V6 turbo and a G body. The aerodynamics and the extra displacement are there for the Firebird. It's a nice piece right there. Lucky to get a good 69? No. Yes, it's luck, and no, it's not, because he was the one on Marketplace. I was telling him what to look up. I wanted an older motor pre-smog, but the guy sold me 2 of them. He sold me the one on my dad's wagon. Step over there. And he sold me that one that's on the stand right back there. That's a 70. That came out of an Olds 98. So I bought 2 really good motors for one package deal in one sitting.
Yeah, he's like, I want to find a 455. I'm like, well, here's one right here. It was $800 he wanted for one.
Well, Classic Ride Society. You might not have to rebuild it, honestly. It might burn a little bit of oil. Valve guides go bad all the time. They do that, but when they're bad, they just burn oil. I would just throw a timing chain and set of gears in there, and should be fine. Just don't keep that nylon gear. Get rid of that junk. That is garbage. That's a one-way ticket to disaster.
Yeah, the Trans Am does definitely have some front end damage. There's an interesting story behind that one.
Oh, Terry's talking about don't let people fool you on the 301 Turbo. I know. I talked to the guy at TTA Performance. I've seen some of the crazy stuff he can do with those 301 motors. You know how it goes. It's the public view with a motor. Oh, it's slow. There, the Trans Am a runner. Looks like it has some front end damage. We can't disclose all the information, but there's matching damage on that fender to the opposite quarter panel involving 2 police cars. And this is from like 1984. That damage has been there, so it's a trademark at this point. And the car wasn't caught, but we can't disclose anything else.
There'll probably be a video on it later. Well, it's fixing it.
There will never be a fully information video on that ever.
Wow, what's gonna happen?
I mean, there's statutes of limitations, but still.
It's been 30 years. The cops aren't even on the force anymore.
I know. I asked the
It
one.
don't matter.
Anyway,
You'll tell a video about when you fix it.
The damage has been there so long. When I was a kid, my dad was talking about fixing it, and now he's just like, "Nope, I'm never fixing it. It's a trademark." I got to put a heater core in that because he won't do it. Once there's a heater core in it, he'll drive it again.
Thoughts on the Australian GTO?
455, yuck. Hang on. Yep. I'll get it hopped up eventually. Okay. Thoughts on the Australian GTO? You mean the Grand Am with a drive shaft? Yeah, that's been my motto for a long time. Terry will tell you that. They're cool cars. It's a 2-door General Motors car with an LS in it, but it looks like a Grand Am stretched out with 2 doors and a drive shaft. They're not bad, but it's not a GTO.
My coworker at my last job, he has a G8 GT, and he went down to, I think, Nevada, where this guy builds them.
It's called Nevada, dickhead.
Whatever. This guy builds them. He builds U.S. legal utes, and it's just a full-on ute. I think I'm not sure what he does.
Has anybody seen the movie My Cousin Vinny? Excuse me. What is a ute? I'm sorry, Judge. I meant youths. Continue.
You interrupt me for that?
Yeah.
Retard.
It's my show. I can do what I want.
Anyways,
what do you guys think?
I'm not sure. I don't know what they do if they just like swap the VINs over or they actually build a car. I'd be sad if they cut a car up. I think they just import the cars. But I mean, it's pretty cool. But the thing is, he wanted them to go get a Holden front end and put on it. I'm like, don't put a fucking Holden front end on a G8. My dad killed a 307 when a nylon gear skipped a few teeth.
That's Justin. Yeah, he's an old guy.
Rear-wheel drive Grand Am.
Yeah,
rear-wheel drive Cavalier.
No, that's a J body, Chris. What are you talking about? A rear-wheel drive Cavalier would be the shit. I would own one. It's a beater. Come on, rear-wheel drive Cavalier with a 5-speed. That'd be the shit.
They're super plain looking. I agree, not a GTO. They're not GTOs. They just threw a name on it.
Hey, giving new cars old car names, kind of like Mitsubishi renamed their new SUV an Eclipse.
Honestly, if they would have given it one of their Pontiac's later generic names like G8, G6, G5, they would have just named it something like that. It wouldn't have changed anything. Giving new cars old car names don't make the same, yeah.
He's saying the G8. Terry's saying the G8 had way better interior than the GTOs. I can see that. The GTO seems like a Holden car. GM is like, hey, can we put our name on that and rebrand it? Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with the G8s.
You know the Cadillac CTSVs are GTOs. They're the same chassis, but they have the Corvette Z06 motors in the first 2 years, and then the LS2s in the next 2 years.
Oh, quiet your mouth. Chris is watching. Watch this shit. That's like saying a Chevelle is compared to a fucking Cutlass. You can't compare. I'm just busting your balls.
No, But yeah, putting old car names and not like doing what would that be called? Like doing service to the name of the like doing service to what the old car was like just isn't right.
Hey, does anybody want to see the 350 that came out of the wagon? It's sitting here right in front of my car. And also, does anybody want to actually hear the story on the 84 wagon we had as a kid versus the 90 wagon we have now? Let me know. 3 people say yes. I'll tell you the story.
Yes.
But here's the 350. It's kind of it's just chilling there. It's on a stand. It's not on a tire or anything. It got so dirty. It's only got 16,000 miles on it.
Chevy called Toyota a Nova. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
And
if
also,
they would have built a rear-wheel drive compact car, that would have been cool.
That has to come back apart. There's a problem with that motor, and it cannot be run like it is. If I put it together, it wouldn't last the break-in period.
Actually,
and I didn't put it together.
Actually, Marvin said Chevy called it Toyota Nova, and they're front-wheel drive shit boxes. But what if they, the AE86? What if they called them Nova? That would be. It wouldn't be the same, but it'd be kind of cool. It'd be better than what it was.
I know something happened.
Charge Bonnevilles from the '90s were cool. Yeah, 3800 Series 2. Coolest motor around.
All right, we got like 4 or 5 people say they want to hear it. When I was a kid, this goes back to like 2000. I was about 8, 9 years old. We had my dad had a gas station in Connecticut, an old-time gas station from the 50s, without the pumps. It was just a service garage at that point. But he had good customers that would always be like, "I'm done with my car. It's 10 years old. You can have it." And we got ourselves a really nice 84 Buick Electra station wagon, loaded. Immediately, my dad took out the 307 and he put it in a 350 out of our 70 Cutlass. Put a posi rear in it, did all the suspension on the car, heavy-duty sway bars, bigger springs, heavy-duty shocks, you name it. It was a nice car. It was real nice. Long and behold, my parents get a divorce in 2003. My mom moves to Florida, and she got that wagon. She drove it around for a little bit, and she told my dad that the car wasn't registered, and the township picked it up. That's a believable story, but my dad still thinks she sold the car for money, which is, whatever happened, happened. So that car is gone and out of the picture. Fast forward to 2016, I'm on a delivery truck. I used to install appliances, refrigerators, dishwashers, washers, dryers, you name it. Bullshit job. But I spotted his wagon he drives right now in Hanover, PA, and I was like talking to the guy driving the truck. I was like, "Stop, stop, stop." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I need to go knock on that guy's door." I saw that wagon sitting out in front of his house for $800 with a for sale sign on it. I knocked on the guy's door, got his name, got his number. I called him from the delivery truck on the way home. We worked out a deal. I brought the car home. It was a pile of junk. Needed tires. The paint's flaking off the car. I had a shitty 307 in it that was never maintained. If it had 3 oil changes in life, I'd be amazed. It immediately lost reverse. He still drove it for 13,000 miles with no reverse. But what I did was I bought it for him for Father's Day, and I recreated what he built back in the day when we were kids, motor-wise. I picked up a 350, an old 350, same as what we put in it, and it took off from there. Then it just turned into, what can we start throwing at it? Hood tack, 455, this, and that, and now it is what you see today. It was a Father's Day present. But it's not loaded like the 84 was. The interior is half as nice as ours was. They had a lot nicer interiors back in the 84 model.
Get off my chair.
But that's the story on the wagon. It was hey, you put all these time and hours into building a car when we were a kid, and you lost it. Here it is again. Let's do it again differently, or however it may play. If GM tried to bring Pontiac back, then I think they would only ruin its name. I'll touch on that in a second. Wasn't there a Chevy Spectra? What? Hang on, stop. You guys are texting me so fast. Well, let me start there. I think GM should kill off Chevy. They'll never do that. They should kill off Buick, and they should kill off Cadillac and just come back as General Motors. Then they'd have full rights to produce anything they want. They make these new Camaros on a platform, whatever that platform is called. They could definitely build GSXs, 442s. They could build Chevelles. They could build GTOs, anything they want on that platform if they just called it GM. And Ford needs to pull their head out of their ass. They only offer the Mustang. Give me a Torino. Give me an actual.
Honestly, that would never happen because they're downsizing.
I know.
Everyone's downsizing. Well, Ford had like fucking 5 SUVs and 3 cars.
You know, and
4
Pontiac
cars.
Pontiac almost went out of business in 1956 for the same reason they went out of business now. They turned into it's just some random name that GM has. What do they have? Kill it off. Pontiac Vibe was a Corolla. No, you had me at Pontiac Vibe. Who the hell names their car a Vibe? They might as well name it a Bullet or some other vibrating device. The Clit Tickler, I don't know.
You need to get a book on Oldsmobile engine performance. Learn about main bearing oiling rods, timing chain oiling issues, and the tricks to increase oil flow.
$800 wasn't a bad price for the wagon. I didn't really argue it much. I told the guy I don't give a shit if it runs or not because I already had the old 350 before I had the wagon. I had an 85 Riviera. Not my brother's. That's the blue one. I had a silver one with a sunroof and some big 20s on it. I didn't do that to the car. I bought it that way for $500. And I was going to put the old 350 in the Riviera. So when I looked at the wagon, I was like, I don't care if this thing runs. Just sell me the car and I'll put my motor in it. Justin said, sweet, #1 son award. It's a give and take relationship. You need to get the book on that. Okay, that's what you just said. Timing chain oiling issues. Okay. I keep my old motors under 5,000 RPMs. I know what their oiling issues can be, but I don't let the oiling issue happen. Yeah, I like the way the wagon turned out, too. I just wish it was a little bit louder. He likes it the way it is, but I'd like it to be a little bit louder.
The oil problem stems from the heads. The ports for the flow back to the heads are almost flat, so it just doesn't get flow. And when you start the car off, the oil will sit in there and sludge them up and clog them like the 307.
Yeah, Henry's right. I did put a lot of nice stuff on the wagon. The stuff I put on the wagon combined as a whole is worth more than the wagon itself.
Well, you put the accessories that you like to put on the wagon, like
I mean, who puts a Buick hood tack on a 90 Buick station wagon?
The roof tack, the animal house, just like all the small shit that you like.
Yeah, Ford's only going to build trucks and SUVs, except for the Mustang. They say that they might do that for now. If they're going to do that, they better bring the Bronco back at least. Unfortunately, our luxury coupe market is dead. The closest thing now is a CT4.
We were just talking about this the other day. We're saying Lincoln and Cadillac used to be like
living rooms on wheels
on Rolls-Royce level.
We used to have world-class cars like Lincoln Continental.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They used to be like Rolls-Royce level nice. They were like the nicest cars.
Chrysler Imperial. We used to compete in this country.
I know. That's all I'm saying. They used to be the top line luxury cars you could get, and now a fucking MKZ is a Ford Fusion, a Cadillac CTS is a fucking aren't they Camaros?
I don't know. I'm reading. How come Chrysler can build cool cars like the Demon, Hellcat? Fuck Chrysler. If they built the car I wish they would build, I'd buy it. I don't like new cars, but there's one car they could make I'd buy. I want a Challenger platform with a brand new Chrysler 300 front end and taillights on it as a two-door with a Hellcat package. And that would be a hot ticket. Especially black on black. A black on black Chrysler 300 two-door on a Challenger platform would be sick.
Well, see, the problem with Chrysler that I can see, they're building the Demon, the Hellcat, all these cool cars. But what car do they have? They don't have a normal car, and this is why I see they're going to be in trouble soon because they have the Challenger Hellcat, they got the Charger, which is cool, but they don't make the Dart anymore. And the 200, do they still make that? They don't have a normal car that they sell. You can still buy new off the lot 0 miles 2016 Darts because they haven't sold.
Broncos coming out in 2020 supposedly. We haven't had it yet. And what do I think of the new Corvettes? Oh my god, we want to be a McLaren, bro.
I feel like Chevy got too far into the we compete with supercars now game, and so now they're trying to be them. They used to be like they compete with other cars, but they never competed with Ferrari or Lamborghini. Then people started comparing them to Ferraris and Lamborghinis.
Problem is
they started moving up there.
The reason why is Ford only builds cars the Mustang and GM is building. What they're building is the market. Yeah, but people don't know what they want anymore. They deal out shit and people take it. That's the problem. Nobody has a taste. They don't know what they want. They just kind of settle.
Yeah, well, they're working for what.
And you wonder why everybody drives fucking Jap cars and your dad's Toyota RAV4 is the #1 selling car in this country.
That's what I'm saying. They're working towards building what people will buy. People like me and him wouldn't buy them, but other people would. And it's just, I can understand. Like they can't always make the old cool cars, but they got to make something new that that people are gonna buy. But on the side, they should make cool cars.
Yes, Eric, Chrysler 300 is a pimp mobile, but if let's say they did make a two-door 300, they could slap a Cordoba name on it and it would be believable. Bring back that name. It looks like a Cordoba, just 2020. Give me a Challenger with 2 doors with that front end and that rear end, it'd be a hot ticket.
Okay, says Challengers weigh 4,200 pounds. They need to go on a diet.
4,200.
Yeah.
You kidding me? That's
Well,
not that bad.
I mean,
Compared to what I drive and own, 4,200.
okay, yeah, but I'm comparing the new cars. Yeah, they're heavier of the muscle cars, but if you think about it, the Mustang weighs for 38.
LS swap Ferrari. Yeah.
The Mustang weighs 38, and the Camaro weighs, I think, 39. That's 300 pounds, 400 pounds is not that far off. Like, it's pretty close. It's the heaviest of them, but there's only 3 competing.
No, the new Dart was garbage. Yes, I can agree. And before the Dart came out, I used to watch all these shitty neons drive around, and I'm looking at it like comparing it to what it would have been back in the day. I'm like, that's a Dart. It's just called the neon now. And guess what? They killed the neon, and they called it a Dart again.
My fucking coworker used to own a Dart.
Eric would buy a Cordoba. Who wouldn't buy a Cordoba?
My coworker, actually named Eric, he used to own a Dart. I think he still does, but it was a turbo. It was a Fiat 1.4 turbo, 6-speed. But he got this thing at 30,000 miles, and it had 40,000 miles last time I knew him. But in that 10,000 mile span, he seized 2 calipers, 2 wheel bearings, and the fucking shifter in the middle broke. The console broke. He didn't have reverse.
Wait, they even have shifters? I thought they have that spinny dial now.
No, it was a manual.
Oh.
The shifter broke. You know when you push the shifter down and up to go in reverse? Well, the thing that you push down, there's like a lever that moves to go in reverse.
Bushing in there.
What?
Is there a bushings in there or something?
No, just I guess. I don't know. It's cable. But you push it down and it pulls a lever and it pulls a cable to go in reverse. Well, that fucking lever snapped. $600 to replace it.
Thanks, Terry. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for the congratulations. I can't believe we hit 1,000 subscribers today. Thanks to cameraman, kind of helped us out and kind of gave us that extra last we needed.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, Terry. Thanks for stopping by. I'll talk to you.
You know, the big 3 nowadays are owned by someone else. I mean, Chrysler is.
He said if they bring back the Cordoba, I need a Frank Sinatra edition with the fine Corinthian leather. You know those cars? Not one Cordoba ever came with leather interior. It was all vinyl, and the leather that they made was produced in like Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It was just some shitty vinyl, but it was nice. It's good looking. It's like pleather, really. Plastic leather, whatever. It looked nice, especially if you had the bucket seats. They had little belt buckles. They had like 4 belt buckles on your ass seat and 4 on the backrest. The cars are all the same. They look like they don't know what there's, back block away. I know. They all use the same roof line and they have the same back window and they have similar taillights. What I said is we're going back to the 1930s. Every car looks the same. You ever look at cars from the 20s and the 30s, they all look the same. We're going through the same thing now. If you're like, oh, I have a 1920 something, I'd be like, okay, that looks like every car from the 1920s.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. People aren't.
You can also start your Dart with a finger.
People don't buy cars.
It's got the weird Mercedes ignition key thing. Yeah, and you know what else sucks? You have to put your foot on the brake pedal when you push that button. Why do I need my foot on the brakes to start a car? It's not going to go anywhere.
Wait, what do you mean weird Mercedes ignition key?
You know, I got the push button bullshit on the dashboard.
Like almost every car nowadays.
Yeah, but why do I have to put my foot on the brake pedal to start the car? It's not going to roll away.
You know what's even dumber that BMW does? They have the push button, but you also have to put your key fob in a slot first and then push the button.
It was Chrysler quality.
So it made no sense.
Just enough to get by. I love them.
Well, hey, at least they went to the Mercedes ignition key and away from that little nub key fob they used to use in the late 2000s. Those would break so often. You couldn't start your car. It just looked like a regular key with a fob and everything, and then instead of a metal part with a key, it just a square box about a half an inch long, and you stuck it in your dash, and those would break so often.
So, who wants to know what's going on with that 455 behind Bubbles?
Just talked about it, didn't you?
No, I talked about my dad's 455.
Yeah, you talked about this one. You literally just said it's got to go back to the machine shop.
I didn't say why. Well, we still got 9 people here. I was shocked if we'd get more than 5. So thank you. Thank everybody for showing up.
I'm one of them, so 8. Surprised Zach's not. Well, Zach's not work.
He said, here. Yeah, he's got work. Thank God. I love Zach, but goddamn, he's got a megaphone built into his voice box.
What happened to it?
All right. So I brought that motor home from the machine shop about 4 months ago. Sounds like a long time, right? But it was saran wrapped when we picked it up from the machine shop. But I put 3 trash bags over it, one from the front, one from the back, and one from the top, cut open. It was sealed from the environment. We took the bag off yesterday. We finally moved it from the floor where the 350 is now and put it on the stand. And yesterday, Chris and Tom are over here, and we're wiping the whole motor down with transmission fluid. And I started finger blasting the lifter bores to get some shit in there, and I felt grit immediately. I was like, that's not good. I pulled my finger out, and it was black. It almost was like carbon. It's like they honed out the lifter bores and didn't clean dirt out of them. How it got there, what it is, I don't know. But then we looked inside the oil galleys, and the same thing. But there's chunks of black junk like carbon, and it's like if I put this engine together how it sits, and I fire it up, it's gonna push all that shit right into the bearings, and it's gonna be game over. It's done. But I was fully prepared to disassemble the short block, take it apart, final wash everything. I got all the brushes. Chris gave me all the brushes to clean everything out. But I talked to my machinist today, and he told me say no more. My boys needed to be doing a little bit better job on the cleaning job. I'm sorry it got past me, and he's like, bring it down. And I was like, I mean, you sure I don't have to bring it down, but I will. He's like, nope, bring it down. I'll take care of it. I'll get it squared away for you. So that 455's got to go back to the machine shop, and he's cleaned up a little bit better. He'll slam the bottom end back in it, and we should be good from there. And as soon as that happens, I can put all the junk together, and we can get it fired up and put it in the Cutlass, man. Next week, not next week, is this weekend. I need your help tomorrow. We got well, I'm getting there. I bought a posi for the Cutlass. It's in my storage unit, and yeah, we got to go pick up the rear. I got to take it to Chris's house. We're gonna wire brush it, paint it up real nice, change the diff fluid, and we're gonna slam the posi in the Cutlass first. We're doing this in stages. We're gonna put the posi in it first, see how that feels, make sure everything's kosher. Then we're gonna put the 455 in it and dial it all in, get it tuned as best as we can. Work out all the bugs. That'll probably take a couple weeks, And then after that, whether it gets too cold, if it's too cold, we'll do it next year. If it's not too cold, we're gonna put the 4-speed in it. But this whole car is getting the whole drivetrain replaced. It's gonna be awesome. Now I got a 308 for the posi. Everybody's busting my balls. Oh, you should have got like 330s and 350s. 355s, man.
Could do the 4-speed on base.
I mean, yeah, we got a
lift.
lift. But the whole idea behind the 308s is I want RPMs on the highway. I want low RPM on the highway, but cruisability and top end speed. All right, I got to catch up on you guys. That's the thing I was talking about. Dart, and they still use them. Yep. I hate those dial gear selectors. I know. Tell me about them. Make no sense. This is why they don't want people drinking and driving anymore. I can't drive those cars sober. You give me a little dial for the shifter. Well, what gear am I in? There's nothing natural about it.
That's good. Glad the shop owner owned up to it. Yeah, we know George, and I know one of his sons from high school. So
they cleaned it. They ran it through a hot tank. The block looks great. All the cast iron looks great. It's just the holes, the orifices where parts go, including the oil galleys, are dirty as fuck.
I think his parts cleaner's dirty.
I think his hot tank's dirty as shit. Oh, Jay, I thought you had work tomorrow. What the hell are you doing showing up to the party now? Because of you, I was going to do another live stream on the weekend, but I guess I don't have to now.
I had a 68 Cutlass with 350 rocket. It ran great.
I had a 68 Cutlass with 350 rocket. Yeah, they do run great, man. They're great motors. They're not powerhouses, but they'll pass a car in front of you. You kick it down a gear, you can blow around somebody. They take a beating too.
Did Chevy ever have a Hemi killer back in the day? Ford had the Boss.
Chevy had something. Olds had a Hemi killer. Well, they didn't have a
That was
Hemi
the
killer.
LS6 455 was the Hemi killer.
It wasn't a Hemi killer. It was a Hemi competition block. Olds made all kinds of Olds had a lot of concept engines. Not only did they have their own Hemi, they had a dual overhead cam 455. They had a twin turbo Olds 455. Also, the dual overhead cam 455 came in two options: carbureted or fuel injected. They had a lot of motors. Olds was experimenting with a lot of turbocharged stuff in the 60s.
Oh, I think he's talking about just like generic stuff you could buy at the lot.
Maybe.
I mean, Buick had the GS Stage 2 or Stage 1?
Now, Henry, I've got two 4-speeds. One I'm definitely not using. I've got that M20, which is an aluminum transmission, and they're not known for being the most bulletproof. But I do have that A833 out of that 68 Super B, and that's a cast iron transmission. Those things are known for taking a punishment and not dying.
Yeah, you're gonna put a Chrysler trans in your fucking.
Why wouldn't I? If it's better than an M20.
How you gonna bolt it in? You're gonna get the adapter.
Yeah, they make all the junk to put them in, but it's expensive.
Yeah, money you don't have.
No notification of this. But thanks for telling me you got no notification. Good glad shop owner up to blah blah.
Do you have the bell icon?
Did Chevy ever make a 427 concept motor?
The Corvettes. I think the L89
A concept
or
motor.
L98.
I know Buick had the Hemi killer, but the only reason it killed the Hemi. Oh, let's be honest here for a minute. They did this. I forget. I think it was in the mid 2000s. They set up a drag race between a GSX and a Hemi Roadrunner, and the GSX killed the Roadrunner on the drag strip. But the only problem is the Hemi isn't a drag racing engine. It's an oval track engine. It loves staying at high RPMs. That's where its power band is. They're not the quickest off the line out of the hole.
I thought Pontiac was performance division. Wasn't Olds more like grandpa cars? No, that's Buick.
Yeah, he would know. He owns a 69 Electra, fucking grandpa car.
I own the grandpa car.
No, Oldsmobile is I want a Pontiac and I want a Buick, but I can't decide. So I get the best of both worlds all in one car.
Hey, you got 13 people on here.
Oh, wow. Well, no, we're up to 14.
Or you could see it. I'm in my mid 40s and I can't afford a Buick yet.
I know it still exists. I think they made two of them, Justin. I only think one's still in existence, if my memory serves me correct. And yes, it's in a collector museum. Or not a museum, but somebody owns it. Somebody just bought it like a couple of years ago, but they don't have the whole thing.
You should buy it and put it in the Skylark.
I thought Pontiac was Performance Division.
I just said that.
You know, I'm reading. Just don't be such a square.
I'm the square.
Yes, we had Dr. Olds making the W machines. He was a mad scientist. No, you know who the real mad scientist was? The real Dr. Olds. His name was Jason Belts. Or not Jason Belts, that's a cop. His name was John Belts. He was the chief engineer at Oldsmobile from the early 60s to 72. He died in 1972 from cancer. He was in his mid 40s. But he's the grandfather. He's the original designer of the Tornado, the 442, and everything else. Justin probably knows what I'm talking about. John Belts is the John DeLorean of Oldsmobile. The difference between DeLorean and Belts is DeLorean says, we're the shit, we know we're the shit, that's why you come to buy us. Just come to us. That's what's up. John was more of a quiet, Belts is more of a quiet type. He's like, yeah, he took care of his people and his staff for a while. He was good friends with everybody. And he's like, we're going to build doomsday machines, but we're going to keep quiet about them.
440 is actually a better street engine than a 426.
That's correct.
That is true.
That is the street engine.
Was it? We're gonna race the wagon versus the six pack.
Don't shut up. Disregard him. We're gonna race the wagon against the 340 Challenger. There's a backstory on that, and you know it. So keep your mouth closed. We can't blow our future videos to you guys, or else you wouldn't want to watch us.
Oh, you got a bunch of other people. What's the point of the live stream? So you get the intel on what's coming up.
We might have a car on my property that we drive. that we want to race against a 6-pack 440 CUDA, that we're fairly confident we can give a run for its money, if not so, blow around it. How do you pronounce that?
What?
Winnipeg Car Life.
Winnipeg.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot. 1,000 might not sound like a lot to somebody, but for me, I never dreamed I'd be at 1,000.
Yeah, well, that's when Neutral Drop took off. So
I started my channel to make home videos and do dumb shit and be able to show anybody anywhere as I want, and all of a sudden I'm at 1,000 subscribers. So I appreciate it. It means a lot. No, no. I had an '86 Camaro with a 305 back in the day. It was slow as dirt. But no, the one out here actually, it's got a 350. The last guy I bought it from, he bought it as a rolling shell. He put the 350 in it with the 7R Ford tranny, and it's not like a powerhouse 350. It's got TBI heads on it. It was a fuel injected motor. Probably came out of a truck, honestly, from the late '80s, early '90s. But it runs good for my daily car. I can still pass somebody in front of me if I have to, and it gets really good gas mileage. It's a fairly fresh motor. It's really clean inside, really clean. He claims that he bought the motor as a short block crate motor, and he put the top end on it and made it run. I played around with it for a little bit. I haven't even made a timing adjustment to it, and it still romps pretty hard. You've ridden in it,
what?
the Camaro.
Oh yeah, I mean I've driven it.
It's
Pretty
not
good.
slow, but it's not a race car.
Upshifts way too early though.
Yeah, the governor's messed up on the transmission. It upshifts out of first gear way too quick.
Eric says you're as famous as PewDiePie.
Ugh.
Missing about what 5 zeros there?
Yeah, I might be missing 5 zeros, but I'm better looking. I mean, let's be honest. I look good. Keep my pie hole closed. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
That's the point of a live stream.
Yeah, that's right. See? Justin knows what's up. I didn't know he passed at 46. I thought he passed at 43 or 44.
Look at Marvin's comment.
Glad you made 1,000. Let's make it to 100. 10,000. I thought you said 100. My bad.
No, above that one. His last one.
So the motor when it was younger. Okay. With the aluminum 327.
Was that what Chevy?
That's
Buick?
Chevy. 327 Chevy.
Yeah,
Because
but you could make any motor, any displacement.
327 got classic numbers. That's a Chevy. If it was a 330, it'd be an Olds. If it was, I don't know, Pontiac or Buick. I don't.
But it was in a Buick. That's the thing. Why would you put it in a Buick?
Why wouldn't you? Make it more reliable. Buicks have no oil pressure.
I've got 50 psi. Of oil pressure.
For now. Keep running your mouth. You're gonna have 0. And had a 92 Beretta. 92 Beretta with a V6 was a stick shift. Those things they're not bad looking cars. I like the taillights on those Berettas.
You know the early '90s Grand Prix GTPs had dual overhead cam 3.4s in them.
Whoa,
that's pretty good. I think like 220 horsepower.
Yeah, but I bet it sounded like a 6-cylinder.
Yeah, so did your Regal.
Hey, that was my first car.
Hey, you was my first car?
Yeah, I had an 01 Regal Grand Sport as a first car. I learned at a young age that I can pull out in front of traffic and get away from anybody behind me if I wanted to without getting rear-ended. I mean, yeah, sure, maybe I got it sideways by accident a few times on some bald tires, but it definitely burned the tires from one stop sign to the next. You can ask the cop that came to my house, ask my dad if he owned a gold Buick. Sir, do you own a gold Buick? What did the asshole do this time? Well, we didn't know a Buick could smoke the tires from one stop sign to the next. It was an auto. Still, it's a Beretta. Nobody has a Beretta anymore. I haven't seen those cars in 10 years.
3400 had some timing and intake issues, unfortunately. Need a 3800 supercharged. They all had timing and intake problems.
Well, the problem with the intake issues is you drive the car. The problem is when you have the 3.4, you have to retorque the intake bolts. If you retorque the intake bolts, not according to me, but if according to my dad, he worked on them back in the day from the dealer. He's like, that was their problem. Once the car got a couple miles on them, you retorque the intake bolts, and they'd never have an intake issue. That's his words, not mine. But the 3.8s.
The 3.8s had problems.
3.8s had problems.
They all have. It's just that shitty Dexco they used. That's what killed them. The type of intake gaskets they used and fucking Dex Cool.
Fucking Dex kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd leak. The 3/8 would lose all the antifreeze. The lower intake manifold gaskets would go bad, and all the antifreeze would go right into the oil. It would turn your oil into a chocolate milkshake and it would wipe all the bearings on the crankshaft.
I put Dex Cool in my Mustang once because it was cheap and on sale, not thinking anything about it. And then as soon as I found out how bad it was, I swapped it over the green stuff. But when it was maybe 1,000 miles on it. But when I drained it, the water pump, I pulled the lower radiators, and the inside of the water pump was aluminum, and it was just covered in orange shit.
Yeah, your first problem is you bought a Mustang.
Your first problem is you bought a V6.
Who bought a V6?
You did. You're fucking Regal.
I didn't buy that shit. It was a hand-me-down.
Well, you took a V6.
And it was faster than your Mustang.
Doubt.
Bubbles putting Dex cool. Yep. You could say that again.
The aluminum Buick engines were 215, and they were popular swaps and ovals. Yeah, also, didn't they sell them a Land Rover?
Wait, what do you mean, Eric? What do you mean about the door handle? No, it wasn't one of them. Fuck no. I know what Eric's talking about. He's saying the door handle is high up on the door. That's like the early 90s.
Which comment?
Eric, right here. Look, front wheel drive burnouts in a Regal. Didn't they have door handles up behind the door? No, he's talking about the ones where they put it on the pillar of the door and you pulled it this way. These things are gay as shit.
In what? The 80s? The Regals?
The early 90s. Regals did it. The Cutlass Sierra did it. A bunch of cars did it from GM. No, it wasn't one of them. It's like your grandpa's Century you see, like a 2004 Century, that body style. But it was an 01 Regal with leather bucket seats, floor shifter, fully optioned out. And this thing was nice.
It's just like
it was supercharged 3.8.
Literally your generic late 90s, early 2000s Buick. They all look the same.
Bubbles putting Dex cool in a Mustang. That should be a T-shirt. If I ever get rich off this shit, I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says "Bubbles putting Dex cool in a Mustang."
Hey, it was 50% off, so maybe there's a reason for
that.
that.
The '80s Cadillac 468. I think it's the 864 engine backwards. Yeah, my dad used to work on those in the dealer brand new. He said they were good engines, but they had problems with electronics. And the solution that the dealer came up with to make the cars run right was they had little coil pack looking things on top of the valve covers to control cylinder deactivation.
They're solenoids.
Yeah, they're solenoids. What the dealer would do is they just unplug the shit and it would run like a normal car.
Ask my dad about them. He had friends that had a lot of those cars.
Okay, yeah. The big problem with Cadillac in the 80s was the 4100 HT.
You know what's funny even about that? Even on the wiki site, they said
4100 is a bag of shit, dude.
But no, the funny part of that, if you go on the wiki site for it, it says Cadillac customers were more satisfied with their 4100 than they were with the 864 or the Olds diesel.
Because they were 90 years old. They didn't listen. The Cadillac 1400 or 4100 motors, they lost camshafts around 15,000 miles. The only problem is if you buy a Cadillac when you're 90 years old, you're not gonna be alive to see 15,000 miles. So it'll last the lifetime of you, but whoever inherits it is going to junk the car because it's absolutely worth nothing.
Fuck you, Chris. You guys Dex in there.
Chris is still here. Do you guys remember the 80s count? Yeah, okay, we read that one. Should have left it in their Bubbles. Should have left it in there.
Go fuck yourself.
Rover got the tooling for the 215. They made it around the early 2004s. Yeah, what, the 215 Buick engine? Is that what you're saying, Justin?
The Land Rover.
Yeah, I think it's Buick motor design. I'd buy that for a shirt for $1. Hey, for $1, you talking about RoboCop? I'd buy that for $1.
Love the Olds. I am a Olds hoarder. I have 330, two 350s, two 455s. Hello from Pittsburgh. Congrats on 1K.
Hey, we're in the same state. Come out and hang out with me. As long as you're not a serial killer or a schizophrenic, I'm down.
You got 15 watchers now.
No, we're
Jay's about to go to bed.
I've got homework to do. You sound like Riley.
Yeah, I do.
Jay, just let me know before you go to bed. Should I do a live stream this weekend? I'll make it a quick one. I love my live streams. They're very unique.
Yeah, because it's all people that
Well, they're very unprofessional.
They know about you.
They're unprofessional.
I have an old 75 Cutlass Salon. And with the Turbo 400. I like your vids. Congrats on 1K.
Oh, it's got a 455. 75 with a 455. Is that a special order? Interesting. It's a J head model, but still. That's pretty cool.
Get some C heads.
What are you gonna do? It's not
We're
going to
gonna
fix the
see how the
problem.
car. We're gonna see how the engine.
No, that's cool. What shape's the car in, man? You drive it around, or is it sitting in a field?
Yeah, why not leave Friday? Go to get a premium pay someday. My grandpa said it came stock. He's the one who gave it to me.
Good hanging out with you. I'm dyslexic. I thought I said a good head banging with you, and I was about to agree fully. But all right, Jay, I'll catch you around. Oh, that was Marvin. All right, Marvin, I'll catch you around. G heads can't go wrong with what? Justin, what year are G heads? Refresh my memory.
Aren't they 70 and 72?
No, 70s E heads, and I'm not sure what 71 or 2 uses, but I know the head they used from like 73 up is a J head, like that motorhome we saw in the junkyard. Headbanging good though. I got you. G is a 1972. Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a difference between a 70E head and a 72G head besides hardened valve seats? I know how the small blocks that controlled compression through pistons. Is the 455 the same way where G heads are good? They just got hardened seats, which isn't a bad thing. Because in that case, I'd swipe a set of G heads from the junkyard if they're good. Deck's cool. Best Cadillac
Scratching
ever.
my back.
Cimarron. When you wanted a luxury Cavalier. I don't see a difference between a Cadillac Cimarron and a Cadillac Escalade. A Cimarron is a Cavalier on steroids, and an Escalade is a Tahoe on steroids. There's no difference, really. Just the price tag. It still drives. Just rebuilt the carb. Having timing issues. Was it pinging really bad, or is it just down on power? I take it you still got a Quadrant on there, right? Which is not a bad carburetor. I'm not ready to talk shit on them. I'm just trying to find out what's going on here. GMs give good head. Yeah, they do. I mean, they used to. They got big valves. That's why you can stick a schlong in the fucking intake. No, let me stop here.
Look for GA heads. They came on X-Men cars. They are the best flung head you can buy.
Okay. See, the problem is with me and Justin.
What is with the Dex Cool thing?
The problem between me and Justin is his dad is the old geek, and I really wish I could go hang out with his dad and have a couple beers. I would love to go hang out with Justin's dad.
What's with the Dex Cool thing now?
It's a rolling joke. I just said we're gonna make a T-shirt. Riley put Dex Cool in his Mustang. That's a T-shirt.
It'd be a stupid ass T-shirt.
That'd be a funny ass T-shirt.
It was on sale.
See, that is a JOO in action.
Marty, we just drove 2.5 hours for your $50 steering wheel because you didn't want to pay $150.
Yeah, and it looks sick, and it's sick. Yeah, I put a second gen Trans Am steering wheel in my third gen Camaro. I mean, it looks like it belongs there. It's great, wonderful, actually.
Doesn't make you not a Jew. Look, your nose is growing.
What was the Cadillac? I'm not Pinocchio, asshole. What was the Cadillac version of the Avalanche called? Well, yeah, what was the Cadillac version of the Avalanche called? He's gonna use his brain right now and look it up.
Yeah, because you're
come to Michigan. We would glad to share a case or two. Justin, if I buy the plane ticket, don't hold me to it. I'm about to go to Kansas to go hang out with another person I'm subscribed to. I don't know if you watch Scott Speed Shop, but I'm seriously gonna go hang out with him. No joke. We just haven't figured out the appropriate time. So don't bust my balls too hard. I'll come out to Michigan and I'll hang out with you guys. I'd love to see downtown. I would love to see it. I'd love to see where the factories were. That would be great.
This is so dumb. It's the Cadillac Escalade EXT. They just put a fucking series of letters after
Cadillac Escalade EXT. It sounds like a sex pill. It sounds like it'll make your schlong super hard for a long time. Like EXT.
They just put a bunch of fucking letters after it. It's like the Yukon.
Yeah, Daisy. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's like the Yukon's.
No, it's like an Avalanche.
Oh, fuck. A Yukon is a Tahoe.
It's the full-size El Camino.
If you'd let me speak, you'd understand what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
give a shit. Go ahead.
The Yukon is a Tahoe, but the Yukon XL is a fucking Suburban. All they did was change the last, put a few letters after it.
Eric knows because that's where Eric came from. he came from Jed's channel. Yeah, Jed's a good dude. He's a really cool dude. I love talking to him.
My friend's father had an old Rally Sport 350.
70. They're nice cars. Everybody talks shit on them. We seen them at Carlisle. He's like, ew, why'd they paint the bumpers yellow? Because
That's
it's
stupid.
fucking hot.
Not my taste.
He likes Mustang 2s. His opinion doesn't count. It's null and void. Fuck him. But yeah, the Rally 350 is a hot car, and you can get them many different ways. I mean, if you ordered a post car, you might as well send it to the junkyard. But yeah, you can get them with bench seats. You can get them with bucket seats. Did they? I don't know if they offered them in 4-speeds. I think they were only automatic, but I could be wrong. I've never seen a 4-speed, so
I hope you get lung cancer for smoking.
I hope so too. It's just not happening fast enough. I don't know what the problem is. Where'd you see that at?
It's fucking James Dean.
James Dean. I thought he was dead.
You look like you eat corn the long way.
Oh, you mean like from left to right? Fuck yeah, I do. What state are you in that eats it the wrong way? I look like shit. Yeah, this is me on a bad day. I didn't shave. I don't have any makeup on. My t-shirt's generic. But not only do I look like shit, I smell like shit.
Don't forget the Lincoln Market. Mark it or Mark IT.
Hang on, down on power. Yeah, Squadron rotor cabin look old. And my new ass didn't get the gap. You don't really have to worry about gap on the spark plugs. You really don't. If you get the right plugs, get the Delco plugs. Don't get champions. Gap, you don't really have to worry about. You might have some carburetor things to work out on it. Question: can you get to the mixture screws on that carburetor, or do they have the lead caps over them on the base plate where you got to knock them out? Because if you can't see your mixture screws, you got to take. You can't do it on the car. You got to take the carburetor off. But if you knock the mixture screws off the carburetor, the caps, you can make base idle adjustments. They help out a lot. You adjust the base idle, and you adjust the base idle adjustments, and then you compensate with the idle screw. That'll help out a lot.
I don't hate the Rally Sport. I just don't like painted bumpers.
Homo.
I hope this guy doesn't give up his daytime job. He's half retired.
Yeah, I'm semi-retired, by the way. I only work every other week. He says I'm not dead. I sell cars at Volkswagen, Mazda, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You're dead, dude. You're dead.
Well, be dead.
You're dead on the inside. Yeah, I mean, what can I say? Buy it. It's a piece of shit. Buy it.
Honestly, at this point, any customer walking with you, I mean, it's not going to
Mustang 2 equals Pinto with Mustang badges. I know, right? I looked at the car from the side profile. The picture he showed me the other day looks like a goddamn compact car. He's like, I like it. And he's like,
no. You're misinterpreting my words. I didn't say I like them.
He said it looks better than a Cordova.
I said it looks better than. I said it's not as bad as what a '70s car could have been, like your Cordova.
Cordova's a beautiful car. Lincoln Mark LT. What the hell is that?
Dex killed him with my Rally 50.
You should. It would be called the Riley 350. They're sick cars. Justin, did they ever make a Rally 350 to 4-speed, or were they automatic exclusive? Yes, you can get them. I'll try that. What? Oh, are you talking about the Rally 350, Seth? I might have got lost in the comments here. My suspension is creaky. Listen to that shit.
That's something up front.
Yeah.
No, like right here.
Yeah, I agree, Eric. The only cool Mustang 2 is the King Cobra. They're pretty sick cars, but they did copy Pontiac with hood graphics.
They also made the Cobra 2. I know a King Cobra and a Cobra 2 sitting behind this barn up there, out near like Newville.
What's the difference?
Just different badges, different pinstripes and stuff. They have the King Cobra's a big Cobra on the hood, and the Cobra 2 just has Cobra 2 on the side.
You know, if I ever come out of the closet, I'm gonna buy a Mustang too.
Marty.
A year or two, you went to go look at a Rally 350 with a 4-speed. It was a base model like an F85. Did it have a post? If it was a post car,
Right here, it's 1970 Oldsmobile Rally 350 Holiday Coupe 354 speed.
Holiday Coupe, that's no post. Was Bubbles Mustang at least a Mustang GT? Yeah, your car's a GT, right?
Fuck yeah.
Well, the back of his car has this aftermarket badge put on it that says 50 High Performance.
Of course, you point out the one thing.
Mustang
I put a badge on it, and he's got to mock me for it.
2 can't fix stupid. It was for sale for $7,000. There's an option in the Rally 350. Okay, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. I've never seen one with a 4-speed. That'd be a hot ticket though. I do like the Rally 350. It's a nice little, neat little car. They are W31 cars, correct?
Bubbles, I hear Ford guys are going extinct. No, it's just all the Ford guys are watching all the fucking retard teenagers buy brand new
I
Mustangs.
think he means because they're going to start building trucks instead of cars, and you're going extinct because they're not going to build anything anymore.
What?
He said, Bubbles, I hear Ford guys are going extinct because your cars are going extinct. They're only going to build like fucking trucks now.
Oh, well, I have my own explanation on that one.
What, routed frame rails in a Mustang? His Mustang
You're
frame rails
cutlass.
look like the frame rails of my Cordoba, but he's lucky because he's got coil springs instead of leaf springs. If he had leaf springs, they'd be in the trunk.
Yeah, they're also easy spot to fix. Anyways, I have an explanation for that one. All these fucking retards.
I think Bubbles was conceived in a Pinto. That's mom and dad.
Retard teenagers buying new Mustangs and beating the piss out of
And
them.
his parents got him baptized by deck school. All right, continue. My bad. I didn't mean
All
to
these
cut you off.
retard teenagers buying fucking brand new Mustangs and wrecking them. All the actual Ford guys are like, well, we don't want to be a part of them, so let's go buy some like fucking Chrysler or GM product.
The Cosworth Vega. Man, that is a hot looking car. It looks like a Bandit Trans Am in a Vega. It's got beautiful color, beautiful pinstriping, beautiful wheels. It's a good looking car. It's a great looking car. I think they should have either put, if you can fit one from the factory, I know they do it now, but if you can fit one from the factory, put a small block in there. Even a 305 would have kicked ass in those cars if they had a 305 back then. I'm not sure. But even, all right, hear me out. On a Cosworth Vega, if they would have contracted with Mazda, so to say, and dropped a cough drop rotary motor in those cars, they would have ripped ass. It's a good looking car. It's just got no balls.
What did we see today driving by the house?
Oh, we saw a Bricklin. We had a white Bricklin drive past my house today. And Riley's like, I thought that was an old Datsun.
Well, no, see, the thing is...
Looked like a 300, man. It's a fucking Bricklin.
Well, one, it was go driving through the fucking trees. I'm like, it looks like a 300. It does, through a fucking tree.
Yeah, Bricklins are cool cars. And according to Daisy Duke, where I get this information from, I'm going to put it all on you, bud. They don't have any ashtrays in that car. Because the guy, Bricklin, that built those cars was like, hated smokers and said, fuck you, no ashtrays.
Okay,
And fuel injection.
I have a 1990 notch with a 351 swap. Well, I have a 351 that's going on my 95. And don't like notches. I like fastback Fox bodies.
I am selling my 68
or hatchback Fox bodies.
I'm selling my 68 4-speed 442 clone. It has a 455, runs and drives great. 10,000. Hey, one, is it a hardtop or convertible? What color is it? And how many options does it have? I can't afford the shit. I'm just asking out of curiosity.
68 4-speed 442.
That would have been a good engine.
It's the same as the one you're building.
He thought a Bricklin was a Datsun. I know, right? I was like, what a retard. This shit kills me.
Through a fucking tree.
Through a tree.
Guess what? You would have said the same thing.
It didn't look like a Datsun. That's the whole thing.
You would have said the same thing.
I would have been like, no, what is that? I can't see it. But I never would have came up with Datsun.
Nah, you would. I said, it looks like a Datsun. You'd be like, yeah, it kind of does.
No, a Dachshund's a dog, dude. You should know you have one. Chlorinated brake clean. Where can you even get that anymore? That's the best shit for killing spiders, thousand leggers, bees. chlorinated brake fluid. It shoots like 20 feet. It's
Don't
perfect.
they sell both, like the red and the green can?
I can't find that shit anymore.
I swear that's always on like the shelf. There's red and green.
I love the commentary on this shit. I'm amazed. Somehow we still have 13 people watching the show. I mean, be honest with you guys, I thought maybe we'd have about 5 or 6. So I just want to say thank everybody for showing up for our 1,000 subscriber celebration.
I also
It means a lot.
I swapped my truck for a 96. Like you traded your truck for a 96 Cobra. Too many issues though. I'd like to have a 96 Cobra. Did you sell it?
Yeah, we'll wish him one hand and shit in the other. See which fills up first.
Hardtop had it repainted black with red stripe. It has factory rally gauges, AC, rear defroster, power windows, and is fully loaded.
So out of the 13 people that are with us right now, I'm gonna give you a list of 3 cars. What are your favorite in order, so I know what to do? The Buick Estate Wagon, the '68 Cutlass, or the '84 Camaro. Build wise, we already put the 455 in the wagon. Do you want to see more wagon shit? We still haven't done burnouts and shit with it yet. Or do you want to see me build that 455 back there and put it in the Cutlass that you're sitting on currently? Have some fun with this car, or do some like hillbilly redneck trailer park shit with Camaro. I'm just curious because out of anything I post on my channel, I get the most views out of anything on the wagon videos, which is kind of disappointing. I love the wagon, but I never meant to base my channel on the wagon.
Well, you really don't have any videos of the Cutlass,
I mean, I can, but
and just the Camaro videos are all just fixing it.
AC, power windows, rear defroster. Hell yeah. I would buy that car. My '68 Cutlass, the only reason it escaped the junkyard as bad as it was, and it was bad, it needed a section of frame replaced, is because it came loaded with options. It was built really early. It's a '68, but it was built in October '67. It's got power windows, air conditioning, power brakes, disc brakes, um, power trunk release. It's got a speed alert buzzer in the dash. It's got a power antenna and a few other options. This thing was pretty damn loaded. It was not worthy of turning into a parts car or scrapping. It was a nice car. It just wasn't taken care of. The motor was taken care of. The motor was like brand new inside. We pulled the dipstick. The oil was brand new. We pulled the motor apart. It looked like it was on its first oil change. And all the cross hatching was still in the cylinders. Whoever drove it was a nurse that owned this car. She used to drive it to the hospital every day, and she maintained it good, but the body rotted off.
Right, your car's rusty. Put a 45 in the Omega with a 4-speed.
Say the Cutlass change it up a bit? Of course you would. It's a Travolta. And let's be honest, everybody that comes to my house, they're like, "Man, you guys got some nice cars, but I really like your Cutlass." I'm just like, everybody does. Is that bad? Is that a little too arrogant? Yeah, everybody does. Put a 455 in an Omega. Oof. Uh,
Scotty just said that and completely ignored it.
well, I was reading. I wasn't listening. But anyway, I'd put a 455 in an Omega, especially with an aluminum top end, so it's light.
Tinted with an LS. No. LS are heavy.
Cutlass, Camaro, Buick in that order. Really, wagon last. Okay, I mean everybody's seen enough of the wagon. Really, it's old news. It's cool, but like let's see some variety.
Honestly, the next old car I want to get would be.
Do you realize?
Either a.
Go ahead, hurry up.
Either a Skylark or that Sunbeam Tiger 2 that I kept talking about with the 302. Those things are cool. It's like the It's like the LS swapped Miata, but of the 70s and 60s.
Sell the wagon and the shipbox 68 or shipbox Cutlass and buy a 68. Buy a 68 what? Because the Cutlass is a 68. And 2, going back to the Omega with the 455 and a 4-speed, you realize that'd be like a 240 SX on steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love all the options your Cutlass has. Me, I'm jealous. I know. Like I said, everybody loves it. People love it more than I do. maybe a bit biased. I understand. I'm biased with you. You're one of the few channels out there, Justin. When is Bubbles gonna buy a Pinto and Ella swapping it?
I said that. That's why I mentioned the Sunbeam. My friend looked at the Vintage 68. I'm selling as it comes out as a W31. Not sure if it actually was. When I got it, it was restored to look like a clone of 442. You're Steve Urkel of muscle cars. So it's not. I'm not buying it because it's a muscle car. I'm buying it because it's a fucking Miata with a V8, but old.
Does anybody else out there think I'm crazy? No matter how much you gave me to spend on a budget to build my Cutlass, to build it exactly the way I want, I would still keep the bench seat in the front. I mean, maybe if this was 40 years ago, I would have put bucket seats in it. That'd be pretty cool. But today, what car do you see with bench seats? You get your girl and shit next to you. You got her best friend in the passenger seat and put down the armrest. Bench seats are great for driving activities. But yeah, you can fit 6 people in this car easily. It's a little slow with the 350, but everybody's like, "You gonna put bucket seats in that thing?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. Why not?" Because I like my bench seat. You had an '84 Skylark wagon. Got $500. It was yeah, exactly. It was ugly, but kept going. It kept going and going. Oh my god, they slandered the Skylark name. '84 Skylark. Look that one up. That's a beautiful car.
Just looks like a shitbox.
It is a shit
It
box.
just looks like a Caprice.
That car is the exact reason why everybody started buying foreign cars in the '80s. Because that was the definition of a brand new American car. Who wanted that shit? That's not crazy, bro. Bench seat. So my 66. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got a nice fold down armrest in that 66 too.
Holy hell, fucking Sunbeam Tigers are expensive as shit.
Isn't that like Frosted Flakes?
$150,000.
For what?
A Sunbeam Tiger Mark II.
What's a Sunbeam? Ew, it's a fucking British car. Look
That's
at
what I
this.
said.
Show them.
It's the Miata. It's like a Miata, but it's got a V8.
But it's like,
It's got a 289 or 302.
okay, that's like my grandfather was gay, so I want to be gay too, so I bought a Miata.
Fuck you, Marty. I think they're cool. They're like old. They're like the old version of the Yellow Swap Miata.
The 68 Skylark wagons are pretty cool. Did it have a Vista roof in it? Probably a 352 barrel, but I'll tell you what, the 352 barrel and R69 Skylark run side by side with the 354 barrel in my Cutlass.
Hold on. You made fun of me about the Sunbeam, but you didn't even know what they fucking looked like.
Well, it sounded stupid, and then I saw a picture, and I was just like, yeah, sounds about right.
Go fuck yourself, Marty.
I can do that. You just reach around the sack and plug it in. You still got the console. 68
G9 Beretta GT.
I'm not looking for a console, but what do you think that console's worth? I would go out on a guess. I'd say the console's probably worth maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna go out on a whim and say maybe worth $400, judging by everybody else's old car prices. If you're not involved in Mopar,
See, look, Eric says Sunbeam Tigers are cool.
somebody else would think so. They wouldn't have made any money. Sorry, Eric. It's a baby AC Cobra. Okay, I can see that. If you built it like a kit car Cobra, I understand. But if you take it in the form of the picture he showed me, the picture he showed me must have been the worst one he could find.
What do you mean? That was a pristine car.
Yeah, I know. It looked like the fucking Ferrari from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It was a red car with that grill, and it was whatever.
I like how when I explain it to you, you don't understand. But then when someone else explains it to you, it makes complete sense.
He says third generation buffer, Sunbeam Tiger. It's like a Miata. Are you on bath salts? Questioning your
It's a
masculinity.
Miata with a V8, and it's old. It's awesome.
I don't know. Just not for me. The British car. Come on. I would take a 240.
See, you also got to understand the difference between me and Marty. Marty is strictly American muscle.
No,
Nothing newer than 1990.
I'm not. I hate the word muscle car. I'm not strictly American muscle.
What do you own? You own a Camaro. You own a Cutlass. You own a Skyline.
No, one's a sports car. One's a fucking
big block Trans Am.
This is a 2-door fucking luxury car. It's not a luxury car, but it's an average car. It's not a muscle car.
American V8 cars pre-90. I will buy pretty much anything if it's decently cool.
Well, I will buy you a $15 hooker with an Adam's apple if you. I will take anything. Hey,
See, but
$15 looks like a girl to you. Looks like a girl to me.
I won't take anything you will buy me because I know damn well you won't buy me anything cool.
I have standards.
Bubbles needs a Fiat 124.
I have no clue what that is.
My dad had one of those. He bought one. He bought one brand new. It was the best car in the snow. Because if it ever got stuck, you could push it out of the snow. He fit 9 or 10 people in it at one time. Bright yellow 3-speed. I think his was red.
Eric says when you're with the lady, you just fold down the armrest. That's the wagon, that is. Or you could jump in the back seat, the very back, with her sister. That'd be fun too. I thought it was you. You get her twin sister. I didn't see the birthmark. I'm sorry.
Some guy on Gas Monkey Garage put a Hellcat engine in Miata. Now that's kind of dumb. That engine weighs so much.
All right, I gotta take a piss, so I'm gonna leave you with the camera so they can see you. But everybody right now question him. Back when I bought the 455 that is currently in the wagon right now, Riley's like, "That's so fucking dumb. That's stupid. Why the hell would you put a 455 in your dad's wagon? That's blah 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 blah." Don't put the 455 in the wagon. Don't put the 455 in the wagon.
Okay, I wasn't like being a fucking retard like you are right now. I was just saying it doesn't really. There's no real point. Because it runs great, the 350, and your dad beats the shit out of it like it was.
Yeah, we'll entertain the people for 2 seconds.
All right. Some guy, yeah. My 68 442 clone had a 3-speed in it. When you put a rebuild 455, I put a 4-speed in it. One, 2 seconds passed. Guy in Gas Monkey. But 455 is bigger. Yeah, but also his dad just runs the shit out of them on the highway. What's the point? It's cool that it's in there. I just wouldn't have done it. Tell the story though.
Slide back. There you go.
Tell the story though. What story?
Ooh, are you talking to you or me?
I don't know. You weren't gone that long.
I told you it was 2 seconds. The 68 442 clone has a 3-speed. Oh, you put a 4-speed in it. Okay. What, M20?
Stop being awkward and say something. You need to question me.
But the 455 is bigger. Yeah, see? That's the idea.
I wouldn't have done it. I still wouldn't have done it.
He's just mad because I had 2 455s.
I'm mad about the 2 455s I found you.
And I put them to good use.
Yeah, and I found them for you. I could have just seen them on Facebook like, oh, no, there's none on Facebook.
Tell the story. Henry, what story are you talking about? And maybe we'll tell it. Stop being awkward. Say something. All right, you read that.
No one asked me anything.
Long ass 2 seconds. All right.
I'm questioning Bubbles. What story?
He's questioning also. Isn't that what the Q stands for in the alphabet, people?
Yeah. What are you questioning? Your sexuality or because I don't need to know that.
All right, just so everybody knows, we have 11 people in the chat right now, including him, so we got 10. We're at 1 minute and 44 minutes right. A minute. We're at 1 hour and 44 minutes right now. I think I'm going to run this up to 2 hours total, and we're going to pull the plug, and everybody can disperse, go home, have a great day. But Yeah, you stick around? Great.
Or if they're already home.
Anyway, does anybody actually have any questions for junk going on around my house? What are we building? What's our plans? How do our cars drive? Now's the time to ask them. That's what I'd really like to get out of everybody. I'd like to know what does everybody want to see in the future is what I want to know. Talking about Sausage Fest. Ooh. I mean, a kibas is good.
What was this? His drag queen name is Parade Cars or something. No, I thought you were going to talk about the 455 more or something. AC was British. The first Cobras had a small block American V8.
You know what? That's a good question.
Yeah, I know.
The good question is Eric asked this way earlier. Where's my dad at? He was at Chris's house. You know, Chris is damn well is in bed by now, or should be, unless both of them are in front of the computer watching us. But where the fuck is my dad? He should be home by now. I was gonna feature him on the live channel. Everybody wants to see him. He's the one that drives that thing.
Yeah.
He's the relentless.
Yeah. Shelby bought AC cars and I guess licensed them or something to put the engines and sell them himself.
Do I still have the Riviera?
Justin.
Justin. I still have a Riviera. I have. We own. I don't drive it. My brother does. We have the '85 Riviera, the dark blue one. One car you guys have never seen on this channel because I didn't post back then was I had another '85 Riviera that was silver with gray interior. It had big 20-inch homie wheels on it with rubber band tires and a sunroof and a straight piped exhaust. That's why I bought my 350 that was in the wagon originally, but I had to get rid of that car for said reason. But we still do have the blue Riviera, and we're on the fence. We still have that 450, or we still have that 350 over in the corner. The car has still got the factory 307 in it, which is sludged over because the previous people never changed the oil. And the question is, do we just drive the car like my brother drives it? He drives it. He's not that big of a car guy, but he likes cars kind of. Or do we put the 350 in it? If we did, that'd be a next season episode. But I'm not sure. I'm hanging on to the 350 for now, and if the 455 survives in the wagon X amount of miles, I'll sell it or I'll put it in my brother's Riv. But we still have the blue one.
Chris said your dad went to 2nd Street. What is your dad doing in 2nd Street?
He's trying to pick up hookers with no teeth.
What do you think of an F85 is worth? I got a 70 F85 project. It's rust free, in good shape, engine runs rich.
As long as it is a no post car, it's probably worth a good chunk of change. But if it has posts,
Marty's gonna say,
I'm telling you right now, no, don't scrap it yet. It's a parts car. Take everything off of it that's good. Let other cars live on. Take a Sawzall, cut out the posts, and send it to the scrapyard.
Please put the 350 in the front wheel drive. Hold up. The front wheel drive stuff is a whole new world. I think I'm gonna bail on my F85 project.
Well, Justin, I figured out what I need to do to put the 350 in the Riv. Since it's 85 and newer with the 307, it's got the small, tiny tubular exhaust manifolds because it's got the 1-inch intake and exhaust ports. If I go to the junkyard, I knew where one was, but I think they crushed the car. But if I can find it, I get an older set of exhaust manifolds that'll bolt onto this motor with the big ports. We'd be in the clear. Other than that, it's just deleting smog stuff. Motor mounts, everything's the same externally. But if I do put that motor in my brother's car, his car is leaking so much transmission fluid out of the front pump seal on the converter. He parks uphill every day, but every time he goes to work, the car goes down a hill and drives out the driveway. It leaves a trail of transmission fluid. So I'm thinking if we did anything with that 350, we pull the 307 out, junk it, do whatever with it. It's not maintained. It's not worth anything. Get a good set of exhaust manifolds for it. Take the tranny to a tranny shop. Get everything redone on that. Make sure it's good. Beef it up a little bit. The 350 would be a pretty much direct swap. And his car to have a little bit of power. And I've got the motor. I mean, it's either sell it or do something with it. It's a seesaw effect. I do this or I do that. And you just got to weigh it out.
I say put it in.
Your dad's wearing his cutoffs, taking pictures with his throwaway camera. Yeah, he does that. I mean, I used to do that, but he still does. He's got those Kodiak cameras upstairs. Or the Kodak cameras, the disposable drones.
What years you need? I know where 10, 79 to 85 tornadoes are right now.
Anything 79 to 85, Justin. I just need a set of exhaust manifolds. I don't need a dual exhaust set like a Tornado would have back in the day. I need the one where they come off and the crossover pipe goes over the bell housing to the other pipe and then out the passenger side. I need a direct swap for, like, let's say an 84 Riviera is what I would need. It's weird because they made that car from 79 to 85 and it had the same motor from 79 to 84. In 85, they came out with that redesign with the fucking small ports and the shitty manifolds. But if I can get a set of exhaust manifolds off, say, an 84 Riviera or an 83 with the 307, we'd be golden. It'd be perfect. It would work. I told my brother it's going to be about, I told him a high number. I said it'd be about $1,000 to put this motor in your car between getting your transmission built up, fixed, reseal everything, get the manifolds, make it all work. I told him about $1,000. It's going to be less than that, but you tell him $1,000, so he runs with it. And if you can't run with $1,000, then you can't do it.
You need some Dr. Old posters in your garage.
I've got them in my room. I've got all the concept engines and the pamphlets with Dr. Olds and Elephant Ernie carrying the gas can and all that shit.
We just jumped up to 15. What is that?
Who just tuned in?
What is that rusty thing in front of the Trans Am boiler? Isn't that the?
That's my
fuel
that's my oil tank for my furnace. Actually, that's where I cook all my grain alcohol. We're making moonshine.
Yeah, it's almost full.
But it's not 190. It's 189. It's not even 95% alcohol. It's 94.5.
It's 191.
I got
you.
to post.
I got you. Then take a look. That takes you one of my findings. Is Bubbles your brother? Yes.
4-speed swap. 68. That's what I mean. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna 4-speed swap the 68. I already bought the transmission and I have a bell housing. I have a flywheel. I need to get the rods. I need to get the Z bar, and I need to get a good clutch. I think I'm gonna go with a center force clutch. You guys are commenting so quickly.
What do you think of a 73 Hurst Olds? Mine was rust bucket. I traded for my 442 Clinton.
The 68. Good call.
73. Flat broke auto. Hey man. Dude, pictures of Dr. Olds in your room.
Fuck yeah. Flat broke autos here. Where'd you come from?
Who's that?
It's Flat Broke. It's another channel. I watch his stuff. How'd you get here? What do you think about the 73 years old? Okay, you said that already. Hey, Flat Broke, what, you just tuned in now? And pictures of Dr. Olds in your room. Yeah. Okay, too bad you just saw this now. I mean, it wasn't the greatest show, dude. People do nice live streams and they do things professional. The way I do my live streams is I just hang out with you guys and bullshit and we just talk shit. It's just a good time. You just hang out and talk. You know what I mean? Some people try and run their things more professional, like a talk show. I can't do that. The W30 machine poster was bad as hell. I've got a bunch of like I said, I've got a bunch of Dr. Old stuff in my room. The problem is I don't take them out of the sleeves because I don't want them to get messed up. But if I had a decent sized picture frame, like something huge, I would put it all in there and it would look great and I could put it on the wall and it wouldn't get destroyed or sun faded.
Those Mustang parts come to the Poconos. Ooh, that's not that far. What do you have?
Neither's the gay bar.
Why are you wondering? Late 79, early 80s cutlasses.
I will be fair and I will be honest. I talk a lot of shit on G-body cars, but especially the 78 and newer cutlasses. I will say that I have a new place in my vocabulary for them as of today, but as a kid 20 years ago, I hated them cars. But today, if I see one driving down the road, I'd be like, hey, look, they're right there. Back in the day, it was just like, ugh.
The Aero Coupes are kind of cool.
They never made an Aero Coupe Oldsmobile.
I know, but just the G-body Aero Coupes are cool.
The G-body Aero Coupes are cool as shit.
I saw a few of them for sale today on Marketplace. It won like $8,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the back window is worth that much, according to them.
What is that? Is it just like? Is it the entire quarter and everything?
What do you mean the entire
Is
quarter?
it different?
No, it uses the same quarter panel. I believe the G body
So-
Aero Coupes use the same quarter panel. I think.
So how hard would it be to convert a non-Aero coupe to
I don't know.
Aero coupe?
Well, you got to think. A regular G body, the trunk lid is yay big. Aero Coupe trunk lid is this big. The back window starts here and goes up, like my Camaro. It's basically like a third gen F body in a G body.
Just get an Aero coupe for glass and trunk lid and just put it in the on.
You can make anything work, but that's above my knowledge. I can't do that shit.
Does the glass come up or no?
No, the glass don't go nowhere. It's just you get a little tiny trunk lid.
Hmm.
If you want a subwoofer in your trunk, you got to build it in the trunk. You can't build it and then put it in. You got to build it in there. What do you guys think of like 79? You know what though? I will say with the 79 to 80 Cutlass. Let me go back to that question. I've seen some butt ugly ones, and I've seen some that are done up nice. There used to be one that I used to work at the grocery store up the street probably about 8-9 years ago, and there was this old couple that used to drive this 79 dark blue with the black vinyl Landau top to my store all the time, every day, and I'd just look out in the parking lot, and that's the only car I would see. That was the coolest car there, and I would admire it. I'd be like, yeah, I fucking hate G bodies, but that's pretty cool. I enjoy that. It's still on the road. More power too. That's great.
Kay says he's a T5 F4T 351 roller block, wine intake, fans, headers, exhaust. I'd be interested if I had money. I have a 351 roller block. I have aluminum trick flow heads for that roller block. It's just I need to spend $900 to get them out of the machine shop, and then spend another $300 on the Buick for the windshields. So I don't really have money, and I'd like to get that T5, but it just won't be useful for the 351 because it'll just blow up.
Eric, I appreciate what you said. This is the only way I know how to do a live stream. If you're gonna see me and see what the hell happens without me trying to edit anything, this is how it happens. I'm not trying to edit anything. I'm not like, oh, you're saying it wrong. No, it's just we're hanging out. This is bullshit time. Let's talk. Let's have a good time. But I appreciate it though. I'm glad other people would rather see us just in our natural habitat.
Thoughts on the buttless Cutlass? What is that?
Best year for the 442, Eric, 69. Body wise, 68 and 69 are the most beautiful. I think I'd love to have a 68 tail with a 69 nose. I love the 70 also, but I don't like the 71 through 72. And I know Justin, you're gonna hear that and be like, "This guy's an asshole." I don't like the wood grain that goes like this on the 71 through 72. I like the walnut swirly stuff. I like the door panels on the 70. I like the front end and the vertical taillights on the 70. It's like when they got the 71 and 72, they just dragged it out. Nah. But like I said, 68 and 69 are my favorite body styles, and I would love to have a 70, but I can't do a 71 or 2. Me personally, I enjoy seeing them, but I couldn't own one. Thoughts on the buttless Cutlass? What the fuck is the buttless Cutlass? I know you just said that, but look it up. You should do this on the weekend. Oh, we've got somebody watching from Canada. Flat Broke. They're from Canada. That's right. I didn't read your name. I just read the comment. Flat Broke. Are you on the east, middle, or west end of Canada? Just out of curiosity, I'd like to know what time zone. Because I mean, here it's 12 o'clock. Ah, Justin gave me that face. Hey, if you put a 70 bumper on a 71 or 2 Cutlass, I'd be all right with that. Back bumper. Front, you can get away with the other front ends, but you need those vertical taillights. They're just so unique. But what I hate, and I can't stand about my 68, might sound insane. Everybody tells me I am, but I don't like vent windows. If I can get my hands on a set of 69 doors, I'd put them on my car. But the only problem is my whole car is painted to match. Oh, what?
What's that Cadillac that has the fucking rear end cut off of it?
A Seville. It looks like you backed it into a wall. Yeah, that's not. Oh yeah, that looks like a Seville.
It looks like a Seville.
All right, that's not a G body. Give me. That's not a G body, but that is a 79 Cutlass. It looks like a Seville from behind, like they backed it into a wall. What's wrong with Oats? It's all American cars back then. Get off me. I just need parts for my 251 swap. My 95. Oh, that's you. Why are you commenting on this shit?
Because you were talking.
You're right. You know what? Get the fuck out.
You bitch when I talk, but you bitch when I comment. Was front wheel drive on the Tornado's boat tails any good? What are the boat tails?
The only boat tail I know is like a 71 Riviera. Do you mean like a 70? Yeah, I guess a 71 Tornado with newer, I would think. I don't know. I think it's the same drivetrain, just more of a smoggy engine. To be honest, Justin's here in the comments. Ask him. Ask Redline.
You should trade me your Camaro for my 68 and 5K. or to the Camaro and 5K and the 68.
No, I can't do that. I like the Camaro too much. It's a shit box, but I like it.
Vent windows are where you put your cigarette ash.
No, my regular windows where I put my cigarette ash. Vent windows are good if you open them all the way. You get like ventilation coming in the car. But yeah, same thing. I call vent windows cherry busters. There's nothing worse than driving along and you smash your cigarette into that fucking post on the door and the cherry falls off.
Only you would have that problem, Marty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was still considered an A body. It was still considered an A body. Made a 452 with 260, I believe. Oof. Hit 260 when a 307's a powerhouse. I just swapped out my 260 for a 307.
What would be under that? A 2.8 and then an Iron Duke?
It's a really, really small 8-cylinder, but it looks the same as that one, just internally smaller.
It's like the 260 Ford. What year was that motor?
You said that the transmission axles are rated to 600 horsepower. What year did that stop? Because I know my brother's Riviera would blow up in a drop of a heart. I'm imagining 76 might have been the last year for a good transmission, just because 76 last year for the 455. Just a general thought.
Well, didn't they change the transmission from the Riv and Tornado?
Yeah, they have different trannies. I know the Tornado tranny is bulletproof.
It's a turbo 400, basically.
Well, yeah, you're probably right. But the one on my brother
is a 204R.
No, it's turbo 225 or some shit, shit like
it's
that.
It's internally a 204R. Cricket in here.
Yeah, sail windows are a poor man's air conditioning. That's called what is that called? That's called a 455. 4 windows down, 55 miles an hour. Ghetto air conditioning. Yeah, I do like the body style for that year, Eric. I wouldn't go any newer than 84. I don't like IROCs. As weird as it sounds, I love third-gen Camaros, but I love the early ones. I love the 82 through 84 models.
Turbo Hydromatic 325 and Turbo Hydromatic 325 4L.
No, you sound like my dad, James Dean. I'm not putting a 442 hood on my 68. Every 68 Cutlass I've ever seen in my life has those 2 vents in it. I love my Supreme hood. Instead of it going up in the center, it swoops down in the center, and it's very unique. I like it. I like it a lot. Everybody tells me you should put a 442 on that thing. No, I'll pass. Nothing against them. It's just they're too common.
Ooh, it's not a 204R, or maybe it's the Turbo Hydromatic 425 is a Turbo 400. The Turbo Hydromatic 325 is a Turbo 200.
Okay, so flat broke. You're in the mid range. You're on Jed's time. It's 11 o'clock where he lives. So okay, he said he's right by the North Dakota line. How is it living in Canada?
Overdrive was added in 80.
Minus the it's cold all the time. I meant like just what's it like? I mean, you guys driving kilometers, you're on a metric system. Is it pretty much just like America with a different dictator?
It's America, and they ride mooses.
I thought that was India.
No, they ride elephants.
Oh. 66 to 68. What's wrong with the 69? There's a difference. Ghetto air conditioning is just removing your windshield. Ask him all about that. His 69 Electra's got no windshield in it.
Oh yeah, I drove that back from the windshield spot. No front or rear windshield.
All right, Chris, I'll see you tomorrow. My dad's home. I hear the wagon right now. Hey, let's go get who wants to see Big Bad Bill on the show? He can tell you about his wagon.
Yeah. All right, the front wheel drive turbo 400 is a 400. The 325 is a 350, and the 325-4 is a 700.
What's the point of putting a 442 grill on it without the hood? The standard issue 68 Cutlass grill is hideous looking to me. It's that silver crossbar and not crossbar, but vertical bar grill. Can you guys hear the wagon? Anyway, I just think the Cutlass grill itself is hideous. I didn't like it, and mine was broken. And believe it or not, the 442 replacement grill was cheaper than the Cutlass grill. Oh, wow. I was supposed to end this show at 2 hours, and we're 5 minutes over bid, but my dad just showed up. Either I can end the show now, or I can have my dad come in and say hi. You guys pick.
I'm going home.
I hear a 455. All right, give me a second.
I'm going to do video on your Trans Am when we get it.
Say hi until I come back.
Hi.
We're going to get the garage. Everything is online once it's plugged back.
He's coming. I hear crickets. Yeah, there's a loud motherfucker behind the Trans Am.
People want to know.
Do video on the Trans Am whenever I get it.
If there's a way to make a TA gay, he'll do it.
Yeah, well.
All right, well, there you go. You can sit down in the chair.
I'll put Mustang 2 front suspension on it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, see you.
See you early.
All right, the people want to know about your wagon, the 455, how it feels different from the 350, and how you like it, and about that WRX on the highway.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. Well, I don't know what to say. All I know, it's got a lot more power. Got rid of that anemic 307. The 350 did good, but I got a lot more nose weight, and I need wider tires so I don't slide my front end up and get away from me.
Yeah, the front end plows.
Yeah, it does.
Talk up a little bit.
Well, we got about 1,300 miles on it, and Chris says only a half a quart of oil so far. He says that's more than acceptable. His big block usually drink a quart in 1,000 miles. It's running strong. It's running just the way I want. You might have to step up to a bigger radiator when the weather gets hot again. But aside from that, this thing is just run like a bandit. So
Yeah, but how do you drive it?
like a lunatic. I always drive. Nothing changes there. Marty was at a place called Savannah's, all shit faced one night. Didn't sound that way at 12:30 when I talked to him. I get there at 1:30, and anyways, before we get there, I just got up on the highway here, and WRX was probably doing about 80. He was rolling, and I saw that only one car. It was me and him. Next thing you know, I decided, all right, I'll get on his back door. So I got in a couple of car lengths. He steps on the gas, and next thing you know, I step on the gas, and we're rolling. And the highway's empty. It's just me and him. I take the first lane and look over at him, kind of smile, and just drop the hammer. We both went for it, and I lost him. Then we go over to Harrisburg and the South Bridge, and I'm speedometer for some reason isn't going past 85. But when it slowed down, it finally stayed at 85. We were probably about $120, $125. He looked over with a look of disbelief on his face. His head looked at me, his head cocked sideways with his jaw open in disbelief. I just smiled and got off 2nd Street. That was it.
Eric wants to know if your dad time warped right from the 80s.
Mm.
He said the 80s never ended.
Nope, they're still here.
He's coming back. Hang on.
I just had to flick my ass.
He didn't time warp. He never left.
Yeah. Well, like some people say, oh, what are you, in your midlife crisis? nobody ever asked me that question. They know I haven't even grown up yet. So when you feel like 28 and you're going to be 16, you act like 16. I guess that's not a bad combination to go through life with. So that's about it. I mean, Marty can tell you a little he's got
I already
going on.
did. They just wanted to know where you were. Everybody's asking, "Where's your dad?"
Well, I went over to Chris's. He didn't put the U joints in. He found that they were nice and comfortable and just greased up the two end caps. He says, no reason to change them. Left him around 10 o'clock, went down Harrisburg, and I was shopping for some hotties, but there's nobody out there tonight. It's like, are you kidding? It's like a Sunday night. So I stopped over at Camp Hill Dairy Queen. I've been hanging out with Junior since about 11 o'clock.
Yeah, the only thing is that he's been trying to get me to part with my 4-speed so he can put it in his wagon.
Oh, yeah. I told Chris, I said, if I do buy those bucket seats from you, just give me another reason to want to put that 4-speed in.
Yeah, Chris is changing the interior in the Firebird. He's not changing it, but he's getting the same seats in better condition.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me get those old bucket seats for the wagon.
Yeah.
Put the bucket seats in the 4-speed. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but you know.
No, but it'd be nice. Good.
But yeah, that's the crazy guy that drives that thing every day and fucks with everybody on the highway because.
Well, I was in Harrisburg. There's an older couple. They're in a Ford Fusion. I was in the right lane. They're in the middle
Come
lane.
over and tell them they're right here.
I'm coming
The camera's
back.
right there.
I'll come right back. I'm just throwing a cigarette out. So I see this old man frantically looking at the window switch, trying to figure which one to put down for his wife's window. And they're like, "What year is that?" I'm like, "It's last year. They ran this style from '77 to '90. So it's a Buick Estate wagon." They're like, "That is nice." I says, "Well," I says, "I'm thinking probably a little high, but I says, yeah, it's probably up around 425 horse. We know it's at least 400. Plus, it's got the cam in it too. So
All right. Well, Henry says, "Tell him I said hi." Eric said your dad is cool, and Kay said if John Holmes drove an Oldsmobile, he'd be your dad.
yeah, nice. Well, glad you guys like.
And Eric says, "I want to see the Trans Am back on the road."
Well, yeah,
We all do.
I've been trying since 2012. Well, that's a lie. 2006. One of these days, it's just waiting on a heater core. So I'll get to it sooner or later. I just put a line lock. Well, it's an imitation
Oh
line
yeah, he put a
lock.
line lock in the wagon today.
Finally. Been waiting on 3 months to get around to do that project. So there's always something going on with it. But next thing is either broken ladder bars or a sway bar.
You ain't getting them ladder bars, they're junk.
Well, Tom can fix them.
Well, we got a sway bar we can put on there.
Well, I got to find one that's wide enough. Yours for the Colts isn't going to fit.
But anyways, this is going on 2 hours and 12 minutes. I think I'm gonna close this down. Did you watch this at all over at Chris's house?
No.
Chris has been watching us. Oh, you've been downtown that long?
Yeah.
No, Chris was commenting this shit for like an hour and a half already.
Oh, no. I left Harrisburg about 11 o'clock. And it was 10:30. I got over to Junior's. I had like 5 hamburgers and some ice cream and stuff. I was talking to him while he was cleaning up the machines and closing up. He's got about another 10 minutes to go, and then he's gonna head over.
All right. Well, we maxed out at 15 people. We're down to about 8. We're gonna close this down for tonight. If anybody has anything to say, let your words be known now. It's 12:13. I'm gonna close it down at 12:15. Eric said, "How is a Buick Electra different from an Estate?"
It's a cheaper version. Yeah. Wait.
No, it's the same thing.
I'm lost. Oh no. I was thinking the LeSabre against the Electra. The LeSabre is the cheaper model. The Electra was the cream of the crop. It's still the same old bells and whistles, just a little better interior. The only thing that's lacking in the interior is door panels. The midway all the way up to the top.
The thing is, they made an Electra and they made a LeSabre, but they also made an Electra wagon and a LeSabre wagon. Like he's saying, one's a high level, one's a base model. The Electra is the higher model. The LeSabre is the cheaper model. But by 1990, they got rid of both trim names. They just called it an Estate wagon.
And this one has every option that came except for the power antenna.
It's got cheap interior.
Well,
but that's all they offered that year.
Just the door panels. The seating's the same as I had in the Electra and the '84.
Thanks, Henry. Thanks for the 1,000.
All right, guys. I'm glad you guys are interested in Marty's posting, and there's always something going on around here. I'm sure you heard all about his motor. Got to go back to the machine shop again.
I don't want to send it there, but George at the machine shop, he wants to recall it and do the work, so it'll go back.
It needs hot tanked again and needs scrubbed out really good before we think about firing it up. or we could be wiping out bearings in a matter of moments. So not taking that gamble. Poor Chris already lost one of his motors.
Who's
Yeah,
Nick Gilder? It says your father looks like Nick Gilder.
Yeah, ask him.
Who's Nick Gilder? Everybody's saying goodnight.
Oh,
But anyway, that's your last chance. Who's Nick Gilder? I can look him up. We'll find out. But thanks everybody for tuning in. 1,000 subscriber celebration. Wasn't that bad of a live stream. Shit, we had double the people we usually used to get.
I always want to be somebody like Jim Norton or Rodney Dangerfield. Oh, no respect. Need my hat. Rodney. Well,
If I was a comedian, I'd be Sam Kinison.
there you go.
Fucking yelling at everybody.
All right, guys. Nice chat.
Oh, did your dad buy the Trans Am new? Yeah, he bought it new.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 40 years. Almost.
March 3rd.
March 3rd of 80.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had it since March 3rd of 80.
Yeah. Dents and all.
Dents and all, no, that comes from 84.
Well, actually 81 when the dents came into play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I smell weed. Why do you smell like weed?
Smell like DQ burgers. What I smell like. I had 5 of them.
All right.
Guys.
All right, everybody. Everybody have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to do this again real soon. Hopefully, that'll have more progress on it. I'm going to send that back to the machine shop on Monday because they're closed tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. And the guy at the machine shop said it'd take about a week for him to pull it all apart, clean it up better, and then put it back together. So, like I said, I wanted to do it myself, but he really wanted to warranty his work in case something actually goes wrong. We all know what happens, so that's what we got going on around here. Yep. I will see everybody later. Everybody have a good night. We're signing off in 3, 2, 1. Good night. Hey, end.